Well, good afternoon. A very warm welcome here to Apeldoorn in the Netherlands for the Tissot UCI Track Cycling World Cup. This is round 2. Of course, last weekend we were in Glasgow. Well, we're going to be straight on with the action. Throughout the day, we're going to bring you both live coverage and some highlights of the last 2 days of competition here in this velodrome. The crowd are filing in. They're getting ready for some great racing. And I'm sure we're going to bring you some fantastic finals as we head towards the end of today. Track centre, busy as always, with all the riders on the rollers, getting themselves warmed up and ready. Well, the sprinters will be on the track later. We're going to turn our attention immediately to the men's Omnium. This is the men's Omnium standings after the 2 events that we've had so far, scratch race and the tempo race, which leaves Simon Sanyok of Poland the leader, ahead of Albert Torres of Spain and Benjamin Thomas of France. Those riders leading this competition so far. But of course, the new men's Omnium and women's Omnium event is now made up of 4 different races: the scratch race, the tempo, the elimination, and then the points race to finalise everything. It's only the 2nd time we've seen this format in the World Cup, so we're all getting used to it. As we see Artem Zakharov there of Kazakhstan, there's the Canadian rider just about to get on the track, that's Aidan Caves. The riders getting used to now this format. They're getting used to how to exactly ride it. You've got to learn the different disciplines and how to score the maximum number of points. There's the leader from Poland, Simon Sanyok. There's the Spanish rider, former world champion in the Madison, Albert Torres. That might show you it's a little bit warm in this velodrome this afternoon, but that's normal. Normally we expect it to be around 28 degrees. Optimum temperature for world records, around about that sort of temperature. Nice low pressure outside will always give you fast speeds here on the track. Well, the riders then getting themselves lined up. Sanyok leads, Torres is in 2nd place, Thomas of France is in 3rd, Roy Efting of the Netherlands in 4th place. Lung from Hong Kong, China is in 5th, Consoni of Italy is in 6th place. Very important in the elimination race to maintain your position. So Sanyok will be looking to have another good result here. So far he's finished 3rd in the scratch race. He won the tempo race. So he's looking good so far. The gun goes and we're now underway here on the track. Remember, all the action in the elimination race happens at the back. And that is where we will see a rider eliminated every couple of laps until we get down to the last 2 riders on the track. So we take a look here at the front of the race then. Who is going to be eliminated first in this elimination race? Riders in difficulty at the back. Looks like the Swiss rider, Gino Mada, is in some difficulty. And it is Gino Mada of Switzerland, there we go, who is now eliminated from the race. The little orange box you can see there on the handlebars, that signifies where the riders can see that they're eliminated. That flashes red and tells the rider pretty straight, you're out of this race now. The rider in trouble then towards the back as we make our way through. Is the rider there in the blue and white. And it's the Chinese Taipei rider who is removed that time. That's Chen Qingyang. removed from the racing. It's going to hurt his position overall, sitting 15th place so far. Going now towards the front is the British rider, that is Chris Latham, who's just setting the tempo. The Belgian rider here, who seems to be enjoying just overtaking riders, is Moreno de Pau. He's the rider in turquoise. That time it was the Japanese rider who was removed from the action. Shitsuki Imamura is now out of the race. See just how fast it is out here. This rider's not holding back. I was talking to Albert Torres in the break and he said it's pretty tiring, this new format, particularly the tempo race where you're going for sprints every single lap and you need to maintain your position, so you've got to get involved in the action as much as possible. Oh, the Belgian rider is now removed from the action. Moreno de Pau, well, he was sitting at the back and then overtaking a rider. Moreno de Pau just won the London 6-day. Very good 6-day rider indeed. Starting to reduce in numbers now. Still a lot of riders left in here. And in trouble now towards the back is Lu Hao of China. Just overtakes, I think, the Dutch rider. And it is Roy Ifting who is removed from the action, the bronze medalist in the European Championships. That doesn't please the crowd at all, so he's now removed from the race. Tempo being set by the Italian rider, Simone Consoni, the silver medalist in the under-23 road race championship of the world. Looks like the Belarusian is in trouble now. Roman Shishku. And who is eliminated that time? Looked like the Chinese rider towards the top of the track. And it was Lu Hao then, who is now removed from the peloton. Really got to concentrate in this race. It's like a washing machine at the front. You've got to be constantly moving up towards the front, holding your position. You don't want to get boxed in at all by any of the moves. This looks like Aidan Caves is in difficulty, has to swing around a little bit there. Now he's going to try and move and overtake, which he does. So it looks like the Belarusian Roman Shishku is eliminated from the race that time. Roman Shishku was riding well in this Omnium so far. Remember, after this we'll have the points race towards the end of today's session. That will decide the men's Omnium contest. Now in difficulty at the back from Hong Kong, China. That's the rider there in the red is Chung Wing Lung, who's 22 years of age. Looks like he may well have been eliminated that time. Yep, he is now removed from the action. Gets both the flashing, you can see there on the handlebars, the flashing red light, and also the judges hold up the flag to show that you've been removed. Oh, a little bit of a problem there for the Spanish rider. So Albert Torres suddenly found himself towards the back, but he manages to overtake the Canadian rider. Aidan Caves is now removed from the race. Albert Torres then sitting on the back, looking very, very comfortable now. World champion of the Madison in 2014 and 3 times a European champion, both in the Madison and in the Omnium. Rides in Great Britain for the Team Rally GAC. Hasn't re-signed his contract yet for the 2017 season, so it remains to be seen. The Portuguese rider then is taking out the action. That's Ivo Oliveira, looks pretty angry, bangs his handlebars. Frustrated with both the judges and himself about being removed that time. The tempo not very high in here. You can see just there's no gaps as Simone Consoni moves up on the outside, the under-23 silver medalist in the World Championships. Consoni trying to squeeze past the Frenchman. That's a good result there. So Benjamin Thomas Looks like he was taken out of the peloton that time. Well, that's going to hurt Benjamin Thomas because he was looking good, sitting towards the top of the race, 3rd overall before this, so it's going to hurt him a lot. There's a little bit of leaning going on. Chris Latham and the Kazakhstan rider just leaning on each other. Latham trying to make sure that he is not eliminated. Number 25 there from Kazakhstan, trying to move up is Artyom Zakharov. Who's going to be out that time? The Russian rider is the one who is removed from the action, Sergei Rostovtsev. And so we're down to the last 7 riders on the track. Latham of Great Britain maintains the tempo. Now and then he loses a little bit of space and works his way back towards the back of the string. Then he recovers a little bit. The German rider then in difficulty now. That's Maximilian Bayer. And on the finish, very close, very tight in there indeed. And Germany, Maximilian Bayer, the bronze medalist in the World Championship points race in 2015. Is removed from the peloton. Down to the last 6. Latham sprinting hard on the front against the Polish rider. It's getting a little bit dicey in here. Towards the back of the race is number 25, Artyom Zakharov. And it's Zakharov who's removed from the action. The silver medalist in the Asian Championships for the Omnium. See the effort there, Zakharov, mouth wide open, gulping in as much oxygen as possible. Meanwhile, at the back of the race is Simone Consoni, the silver medalist in the under-23 road race championships of the world. And now Albert Torres decides he's going to stretch this race. Chris Latham will be used to riding against Torres. They both ride for British pro teams. Torres looks around to see what damage has been done. The judges can't split the riders. No decision that time. So the judges were unable to pick any rider. So the Ukrainian rider was in a little bit of trouble towards the back of the race that time. Roman Gladish, the 21-year-old. He's the rider there in the yellow and blue, making his way up, trying to get past Torres. Now, Torres, of course, was at the front. Oh, he might have been eliminated that time. And Torres is eliminated. He'll be frustrated with that. He was looking very, very good, and now he's been removed. Oh, no, it is Gladish who's been removed from the action. So it is Gladish who is taken out that time in the blue and yellow. The judges haven't shown us the flag in the middle, but... Well, it is Torres who has been eliminated. So the judges are calling for Torres to be eliminated. And we're down to the last 4, so Gladish is still in the race. Torres is the rider who's been taken out of the action. A little bit messy in here now. Torres is saying, was I eliminated or was I not? He says, thank you very much. He doesn't really mean it, but he is saying thank you anyway. 4 riders remain. On the front is Chris Latham of Great Britain, Simone Consoni in the white and blue of Italy. Also in there, Simon Saniok of Poland. He is the current leader of this Omnium competition. And the Ukrainian Roman Gladish sitting on the back of the group. The gun has just gone. So we are going to see an elimination race neutralisation for just a moment. In fact, we're back on. And we hear the bell go, which means there will be an elimination next time. It's Gladish on the back in the yellow and blue. In front of him is Simone Consoni. So Gladish trying to get past here. Latham is the leader of this elimination race. And we lose Roman Gladish, the 21-year-old Ukrainian, is now out of the race. Well, he looked like he'd been on his limit all the time. Latham doesn't have the legs to go with this attack. So Simone Consoni and Simon Sanyok are the two riders who now go on the move. Latham totally unable to respond to those attacks. So the Italian rider now, Simone Consoli, the very fast road race rider, up against Simon Sanyok, who won the tempo race and leads this Omnium overall. We're down to the last two then. Who's going to win this race? Consoli starts with the sprint now. Chris Latham eliminated that time. He pulls off the track. Consoli looking around to see where Simon Sanyok is. Sanyok is going to now attack him very, very hard indeed. But the Italian rider's refusing to give in. Simone Consoli flat out. Simon Sanyok then of Poland, but Consoli's going to try and come past him before the finishing line. Who's going to get it? Oh, the elimination race goes to the Polish rider, Simon Sanyok. Back-to-back wins, the tempo race and the elimination race. He wins, and he goes firmly to the top of the leaderboard.
Simon Sanyok voor Polen wint dus niet alleen de tempo race, hij wint ook de afvalkoers.
Simon Sanyok takes that. A great victory there for him. Here's the replay of what happened out there on the track in the elimination. As we take a look here at the finishing sprint, Consoli leading out with his oddly coloured shoes. One neon yellow, one black. But Simon Sanyok looking much quicker. Great sprint by the Polish rider. He's got a good advantage now, 116 to 102. Simon Sanyok looking good in this Omnium competition. There's the standings, 116 to 102 for Albert Torres. Simone Consoli with 94 points in third place. And there's the makeup of the top 10 as things stand right now. There's the rundown of the top 19. Simon Sanyok then, fifth in the Paris-Roubaix for junior riders. Fifth in the Course de la Paix, and he won the junior national championship individual time trial. He's only 19 years of age. Let's take a look back then at the women's keirin. And this was the ride for the 7th to 12th places. Now the keirin, of course, has changed in its format with the Derny bike. That's the pacing bike you see at the front, leading and then pulling off with 3 laps of racing to go. So a little bit different to the format that we have been used to, but we'll get used to this one very quickly, I'm sure. The Derny then leading round. We've got our green Derny, so no fumes at all here in the velodrome. And a steady, nice start as the riders line up behind. So we have Casas of Spain, Ishii of Japan, McCurley of Ireland, Kiseleva of Russia, Morozita of Lithuania, and Field of Australia. That's the makeup of these riders who are on the track right now. This decides 7th to 12th place. Sitting on the back of the bike then is Ishii of Japan. Towards the back, the Russian rider, Kiseleva. Ireland with McCurley just sitting in the middle of the group. Little gap being left there by the 2nd place rider. 3 laps of racing to go. No one really prepared to make the move yet. Zaita moving up, but it's the Spanish rider who goes on the top of the track here. This is Casas of Spain. Casas of Spain now, starting to sprint, going flat out on the front of the race. Field in second place for Australia. So Field working hard here. McCurley trying to find a little bit of a way through, but Field on the final lap on the outside. And it is Casas who still leads for Spain. Field starting to just lose the tempo a little bit. The Japanese rider moving up, trying to find a little bit of a gap if that's possible. But it is going to be Casas who takes it. Casas of Spain takes the 7th place. The gaps for the Japanese rider just not quite opening. Trying to find some way through, then eventually finds a gap and goes for it. Corny Field faded on the run into the finishing line there. A confirmation of the 7th to 12th place in the women's keirin looked like that. Let's take a little look then at the highlights of the women's keirin final. This is the makeup of the field. De Grendel of Belgium, Lily Liu of China, Katie Marchand of Britain, Wai Chu Li, Hong Kong, China, Shanna Braspannings of the Netherlands, and Lubiov Basova of the Ukraine make up the riders in the keirin final. The Derny bike gets underway then, and slotting in behind it is Shanna Braspannings, the 23 European champion of the keirin. We take a look there at the Belgian rider, that's Nikki de Grendel, 4th in this discipline in Glasgow. Slotting in behind the Dutch rider, 2 places back from Great Britain, is Katie Marchand, an Olympic bronze medalist. The Chinese rider, Liu Li. The Dutch rider, Shanna Braspannings, is the keirin and team sprint European champion at under 23 level.
We have a warning for
All the riders choosing to have the disc wheel in the back and the carbon fibre bladed front spoked wheel, just to help slice through the air at the speeds these riders are hitting the finishing line. They're very, very quick indeed. The Ukrainian rider sitting 3 from the back is Lubiov Basova, who was 2nd in Glasgow. So now the Derny bike has peeled off. It is the Dutch rider, Shanna Braspannings, who leads. The Ukrainian now moving up. Lubiov Basova, the European sprint and keirin champion, 2nd in Glasgow. Now we're going to start to open up the sprint. So it's the Dutch rider who moves up, Shanna Braspannings, looking across at the Ukrainian challenger on the outside. Who's going to take this? Moving also up is Katie Marchand of Great Britain. Wai Chu Li is in here for Hong Kong, China, seemingly going through gaps that aren't possible. Wai Chu Li loves the hustle and bustle. Look at that move. What an incredible move by Wai Chu Li. But it was Basova who takes that victory. Basova looking good. Wai Chu Li sneaking through some incredible gaps there. We'll take a little look at the replay. Here they go then. Katie Marchand leaning, almost came to grief there. I didn't see the bike move quite that much, but look at Wai Chu Li, still there, sitting on the wheel of Basova, trying to work her way through, eventually sees the gap as they sprint for the finish line. I'd like to trace that on the screen. That was a great sprint by Wai Chu Li. But Lubiov Basova, the European sprint and keirin champion, takes the women's keirin. Confirmation then of the result, beats Nikki de Grendel into 2nd, and Wai Chu Li, or Sarah Li as we like to know her, in 3rd place for Hong Kong, China. Lubiov-Basova wins the women's keirin. Nikki de Grendel in second, Wai Chu Lee in third place. An emotional Wai Chu Lee on the podium there. And Sarah Lee lost her coach very recently. Still quite raw and emotional for her to be back here on the track. We're going to turn our attention then to the women's points race.
20 kilometers of sensation in the final of the women's points race.
Here's our rundown then of who's taking part in the women's points race. 80 laps of the track, 20 kilometres, 8 sprints along the way. This should be a bit of a tussle between these riders. There's some great points race riders. There's some fantastic Omnium riders also in this field. As we take a look at all the riders, and we'll get to know them whilst this race continues.
Zo verzamel je de punten bij elkaar. En wie dus op het einde, na die 80 rondes, de meeste punten heeft gesprokkeld, kun je als winnaar...
The points race has undergone a few changes. If you've not watched it so far, there are now double points on the last sprint, which can completely change the race. So you have to really be clear on how many points you've already got as you go in towards that last sprint. There's Lydia Gurley, who was getting ready. There's Eleanor Barker of Great Britain. Barker, an Olympic champion on the track. This is a nice shot, gives you an idea of just how steep this banking is. 43 degrees at the far end. There's Emily Nelson, who was one of the members of the Team Pursuit squad who won in the World Cup last week. She's there in the red and white. Behind her is Lotte Kopecky of Belgium, the European Madison champion. All the crowd looking forward to watching Kirsten Wild ride. Kirsten Wild lives about 30 kilometres from Apeldoorn. She lives in Zwolle. There she is, the European champion of the points race. In the blue. She'll look to put on a bit of a show here for her home crowd, I'm sure. Well, if you'd like to tweet me today and ask any questions, at Ant McCrossan, A-N-T McCrossan is where you can tweet and ask me any questions if you would like to, whilst we go through this points race. Lots of laps, 20 kilometres in total, 8 sprints, 80 laps of racing to decide who takes the points race. Well, we're underway. The gun goes off pretty loudly just in front of us. There is Kirsten Wild. She wasn't 100% on form last weekend, but we'll say that's all right for her. She had been in Los Angeles with her new silence team. And she'd only arrived back at the track the night before the final day. So she was a little bit tired, but now she should be back on, feeling much better and able to get involved in all the action. There in the red is Emily Nelson. Setting the tempo now on the front, though, is the Japanese rider, Inami Uwano. There is Lotte Kopecky. It's a great style on the bike, there's Lotte. Rode in, of course, the Rio Olympic Games, was the young rider who was on the attack for a lot of the early phases of the race. The Australian rider is Danielle McInnery. And there's the Belarusian, wearing number 45, Iva Savenka. Just spinning those pedals over very nicely indeed. Kirsten Wild looks very concentrated here. This is the track that she trains on. So she knows this this area, this track, and the people who come to watch bike racing very well indeed. There she is, European champion. That's why she's wearing the all blue colours. Last European Championships held not that long ago, just a few weeks ago. There'll be sprints every 10 laps. So we've now got 75 laps to go. The pressure is not firmly on at the front yet. The Czech Republic rider just went through to do a little bit of pacemaking. That was Jamila Mashakova. There's the French rider going through, and that's Laurie Berton, a very accomplished Omnium rider, silver medalist in the World Championships in 2016 in the previous format, not the format we're seeing here on the track in the men's event that you saw earlier on. There is Emily Nelson moving up in the red. Junior Team Pursuit World Champion and under 23 European Team Pursuit Champion as well. Now starting to make a name at world level in the World Cups. Great Britain, of course, not fielding their riders such as Laura Trott. 72 laps to go. We're coming up to the first sprint. The tempo goes up then. It's the Ukrainian rider who hits the front, Anna Narina, who's trying to take the first points of the day in this points race. Behind her is Kirsten Wild. Elena Barker making a move as well. It's going to be a throw the bike at the line. Looked like Kirsten Wild took the initial 5 points. She's decided though, she's not letting up. She's decided she's going on a massive attack now. She's joined in with Elena Barker. Also up there is Laurie Berton, a dangerous group of riders going clear in this points race. 69 laps now remain. 6 riders with a slight advantage on the rest of the field. So it was Kirsten Wild who took the points ahead of Elena Barker. And then Ina, in Ukraine's colours, was in 3rd place. Laurie Berton took 1 point. So Kirsten Wild, the current leader of this points race final. "67 laps to go." Now as we take a look here at the German rider, just make a little bit of a move. That's Tatiana Paula. Remember, if you take a lap here, you take 20 points. So a big incentive to try and go out and take laps. Tatiana Paula is the leader. Going with her is the Japanese rider. And that's Minami Iwanu. Everyone seems to be looking for Kirsten Wild to do the pacemaking, but these 2 riders are going clear, and they could take a lap on the rest of the field if we keep up this tempo. Tatiana Paula of Germany and Iwano of Japan, the 2 riders going clear now, and not that far away from being able to see the main peloton just in front of them. We're getting close, of course, to the next sprint, which comes up with 60 laps of racing to go. Another trio trying to go across to them. So it's Emily Nelson and Elena Barker who are trying to go across. This is Kirsten Wild, who's just looking to see whether she decides to get involved in the action right now. But it is still the same 2 are ahead. Tatiana Paula, and also in there, Minami Iwanu. Little groups of riders all over the track. No one's prepared to let this duo go completely. Kirsten Wild fighting hard to stay in the wheels. Coming up then to the sprint. And just as the Japanese rider, Uwano, crosses the line first, the rest of the peloton seem to be coming back pretty quickly at the leader, the two leaders of this race. Confirmation of the sprint. Uwano took 5, Paula took 3, Nelson and Barker took 2 and 1 respectively. 59 laps to go and the race is coming back together. Here's the standings after 2 sprints. Kirsten Wild the leader with Minami Uwano. Eleanor Barker sits in 3rd place. We get another attack here. It's the Belarusian who decided to try and break the will of the rest of the field. This is Ina Savenka of Belarus going clear now. Bit of an advantage opening up on the rest of the peloton. Wild constantly looking round to see whether someone else will chase. They sometimes say, don't they, that you've got to be prepared to lose a race in order to win. And Wild has been quite clever with her effort, not using all her energy, to getting some people to do the chasing as well. Ina Savenka of Belarus still off the front of the peloton. Wild starting to move up as we get towards the next sprint. She'll be paying very close attention to the front of the race. The race situation then, Kirsten Wild leads with 5 points, Uwano with 5, Eleanor Barker with 4. Still the Belarusian trying to stay clear. Ina Savenka has a slight advantage with 54 laps of racing to go. Kirsten Wild hasn't really made a move here. Still around about 1 length of a finishing straight between the peloton and the leader. 53 laps to go. Ina Savenka can look across the track and see the rest of the field on the other side, who are now starting to hot up, ready for the sprint. Now it could bring her back into the fold. She's carried on with this effort though. She's prepared to put in the hard laps to try and get there if she can. Coming up then to the sprint, and I think she could get a lap here. Suddenly they've all sat up and they're all looking at each other. Who's going to take the sprint this time? No doubt that the rider coming around then from Belarus, Ina Savenka, is going to be the leader of this Omnium competition if she can get to the back of that peloton and catch them as soon as possible. Barker took some points. They close up a little bit. Kirsten Wild was also very involved in that sprint.
Met 6 punten op de tweede plaats. En de Belarusse Savenka met 5 punten samen met Uwano op de derde plaats.
Here's sprint number 3. Ina Savenka takes 5, Eleanor Barker 3, Laurie Burton 2, Kirsten Wild takes 1 point. Which I think means that Eleanor Barker will be the leader of this Omnium competition. There she is. After 3 sprints, Eleanor Barker is the leader. 7 points to the 6 of Kirsten Wild and 5 points to Savenka and Uwano so far in this women's points race final. Well, this attack is going to come to nothing because the Belarusian is about to be caught. And we're going to see a little group going away again. Seems like she's managed to infiltrate this breakaway as well. Belarusian wearing number 45 also in the group. Looked like the Russian rider Gulnaz Barakova. So a group of around about 6 riders going clear now. And it is Lydia Gurley of Ireland who is going clear now of the front of the peloton. There's Barker. Barker looks to be enjoying being here. One of the only riders from the London 2012, the Rio 2016, team who's still racing. Has not had a massive break. She'd had a little bit of a holiday, but that's it. She's carried on racing. She's scoring as many points as she can for any qualifications she has to do. 43 laps to go. She's the leader with 7 points, 6 to Kirsten Wild. Helena Barker looking for a little bit of assistance. She has to decide what to do here. She decides then that she's going to go away and try and catch them. Big attack by Helena Barker coming up to the next sprint. 41 laps to go. The points are way up the track. Has she made the effort at the right time? Can she get across to them? And it's going to be a sprint then between these 4 riders for the points, and it is going to be the Japanese rider who takes it, Minaru Iwano. Helena Barker's record, considering her age of 22, is very impressive indeed. 1 times Olympic champion, 3 times a European champion, twice a world champion. As we look here at the standings after sprint number 4, it's Iwano who leads, 10 points to Helena Barker's 7, Kirsten Wild with 6. And we can see there the Japanese rider just setting the tempo on the front. Notably that Gurley of Ireland took 1 point in that last sprint. And the Irish team very happy after they took the victory in the men's points race yesterday. Just improving all the time, trying to get the coaching and the infrastructure to help their team as much as they can. And the Ireland team, their motivation will be even higher after that yesterday. Helena Barker setting a formidable pace on the front of the race now. She won that Olympic team pursuit gold medal in Rio. Teammate, of course, of Laura Kenny. And the peloton now being led by the Ireland team with Gurley in the green. Looks like there's a big attack going on now. Looks like we've got about 7 riders. This is an interesting move here by these riders. Working extremely hard together. The pace suddenly hots up. 33 laps of racing to go. And this group of riders could well take a lap on the rest of the field. It includes Kirsten Wild, which is why the fans are so animated right now. This is her home track, so they really want to see her race here. And they decide to hold back a little, contest the sprint, and then catch the field. Interesting tactics, just to explain to you, well, there are points on the line next time, so they will almost put the brakes on if you had brakes on these bikes. Kirsten Wild in the blue. Helena Barker is challenging her. They are making sure they don't catch the peloton until they get the sprint points. Intelligent riding by Kirsten Wild and Helena Barker. And in terms of gaining a lap, we now know that Badiakova, Gurley, Mashikova, Uwano, Pang, Nelson, Barker all took a lap that time. In that sprint then it was Lotte Kopecky who took the points. Naina of the Ukraine took second. There we are. Tatiana Paul of Germany took the 2 points. And Anita Stenberg took 1 point. 28 laps of racing to go. And a number of riders have taken a lap on the rest of the field. They take 20 points. So Badiakova, Gurley, Machikova, Uwano, Pang, Nelson and Barker have all taken a lap on the rest of the field. 27 laps to go. And the race situation means that Uwano of Japan is the current leader with 30 points. Barker is now in second place with 27. We're counting down towards the final 2 main sprints and then the finishing sprint of the day. Another attack goes on at the front of the race. Kirsten Wills decides this time she's got to go with this. She's only scored 6 points so far. 2 British riders and a Japanese rider going clear. Eleanor Barker on the back. Emily Nelson in the red. These riders going clear now. Nelson will probably ride with Eleanor Barker. 24 laps to go. Eleanor Barker leads the Japanese rider Uwano, who is the current leader of this race. Wearing number 69 there. Emily Nelson. It's been an animated race so far. Big reaction now from the crowd as they sense the possibility of Kirsten Wild moving herself up the standing. She's 8th overall, 6 points in this points race. So you have to be very consistent to win the points race, but also to win the Omnium overall now. There's the front of the race then, left-hand side. Laurie Burton, Russian rider also towards the front of this group of riders. That's Gulnaz Badiakova. Moving up on the outside then, Norwegian rider Anita Stenberg, the 24-year-old. Trying to get involved in the action, but really it's all about Barker of Great Britain, Uwano of Japan, Machikova of the Czech Republic, and Nelson of Great Britain, with maybe Badiakova of Russia. Eleanor Barker is the leader, 32 points. Uwano second, Machikova now in third place. As we see confirmation of sprint number 6, it was Lotte Kopecky ahead of Naina, Tatiana Paula, Anita Stenberg, who took the points that time. 2 sprints left, double points on the last lap, and now we see the big attack comes from Kirsten Wild. The crowd now get very animated. The silk medalist recently in the World Championship road race, European champion, as you can see, going clear. Kirsten Wild's decided it's time to try and take a lap on the rest of the field. Kirsten Wild using her road speed to try and go across now to the leaders. 17 laps of racing to go. This rider, of course, a fantastic road rider, one of the fastest sprinters in the world. Straight line speed is incredible. Kirsten Wild now is a half a lap up on the rest of the peloton now. The Australian rider has been dropped. flat out on the track now as Eleanor Barker tries to react. But Kirsten Wild is looking extremely good now. Kirsten Wild trying to go across to take the lap, joining up with one of the back markers, the Australian Daniela McInnery, who's going to bring her back to the front of the race. Kirsten Wild in a big attack here against Eleanor Barker. This would put Kirsten Wild much higher up, but she's only on 6 points. Eleanor Barker on 32 right now. Barker is looking strong. She goes to the front. Also up near the front of the race is the Irish rider, Olivia Gurley, but Kirsten Wild would really please the home fans. This would put her into the bronze medal position if she can manage to catch the field. Emily Nelson now doing a massive turn with Eleanor Barker, coming round to the next sprint. Kirsten Wild really needs these points, because then it will put her in with a chance of winning with the double points on the last lap. So it is Emily Nelson, Eleanor Barker going for the points now. They hear the bell that time. And the acceleration of Nelson means that Eleanor Barker goes to the front, and she's trying to close in here on McInnery and also Kirsten Wild. So Wild takes the points. Barker takes third place. Eleanor Barker the leader. Kirsten Wild took the points that time. 10 laps of racing to go. It is absolutely flat out on this track now. There is Barker joining up with Machakova, the rider in the blue of the Czech Republic. 7 sprints gone. Kirsten Wild took 5, Barker took 3, Machakova 2, Uano took 1 point. Just to update on the standings. Here we go. Barker 35 points, Uano 31, Machakova with 28, Nelson with 24. Still Kirsten Wild hangs off the front of the race. Double points on the last lap. Kirsten Wild only on 11 points, so she's not a danger unless she takes a lap. Barker looking very comfortable. The two leaders then coming round again to complete another lap. Kirsten Wild, and the Australian rider with her is Danielle McInnery. Trying to go across now is Anita Stenberg of Norway. Wild is putting on a great show for her home fans here in Apeldoorn. But it looks like this race may well come back together as the Norwegian rider Stenberg finds herself in no man's land. Barker is responding. She's going clear of the rest of the field. She's just riding the entire peloton off her wheel right now. She tries to go across. She looks around to see whether anyone's with her. The answer is they're not. Barker, one of the team pursuit fastest riders in the world, and Barker now is going to attack Kirsten Wild. What a ride by Eleanor Barker. She goes flying past Kirsten Wild. 4 laps of racing to go. She can do a 1 kilometre turn, and Barker would win this points race. She's already in the lead. It is Uano of Japan who's got to respond to her now. There is a little bit of a move going on just behind Barker. A couple of riders trying to come across. And a big attack, and it comes from the Italian rider, Rachele Barbieri, the winner of the Red Hook Crit, actually, in Milano recently. Barbieri coming across here to catch up with Eleanor Barker as they hit 2 laps of racing to go. Laurie Burton also reaches the wheel of Eleanor Barker. So it is Rachele Barbieri. And they're going now for the sprint. Rachele Barbieri, Laurie Burton, Eleanor Barker. They hit the final sprint, and Laurie Burton took the points. Second was Rachele Barbieri, and third place was Eleanor Barker, which will mean that Eleanor Barker will be the winner of the women's points race. Well, very pleased with that effort. Eleanor Barker with that tremendous series of sprints then. All smiles from Eleanor Barker. She wins the World Cup women's points race. Confirmation of the final sprint. That was the double point sprint, remember. Laurie Burton took 10. Raquel Barbieri took 6. Barker took 4. Verena Eberhardt took 2. So Laurie Burton. Eleanor Barker is the winner of the women's points race. 8-point advantage from Uwano. Mashakova was in 3rd. Nelson was in 4th place. Here's the highlights of what was going on out there on the track. Well, Eleanor Barker has held on to her form. She had a little bit of a rest after Rio, but she is firmly on it now. You can see that. She's got a lot of speed left in those legs. Laurie Burton over there on the left-hand side. Barker, all smiles. Big effort there to win that points race. Now on the screen, confirmation of the top 10.
And in the United States of America, Los Angeles. Nu maken wij ons op voor de tweede race in de halve finale van de dames sprint. We are preparing ourselves for the semi-final, race 2 for the women's sprint. De eerste werd nipt gewonnen door de dame namens Spanje.
Getting ready then for the sprints. This is the women's sprint semi-finals. This is heat number 2 on the track.
Representing Spain, Tania Calvo-Barbero. Heel nipt tweede.
These two riders making their way onto the track then. At the top of the track is Tania Calvo of Spain, who is the leader. She's the rider who leads. Lauren van Riesen of the Netherlands, there in the orange. So they make their way off the start. Tania Calvo, twice a silver medalist in the European Championships in the sprint and the team sprint. Three laps of the track as usual. Laureen van Riesen, interestingly, used to be a speed skater. Turned her attention here to track cycling. Van Riesen won a bronze medal in the Olympic Games in speed skating. The 1,000 meters in 2010 in Vancouver. But she now needs to beat Tania Calvo to bring this to 1-1 and go through to the gold medal ride-off. Calvo's looking very, very good at the moment, though. Van Riesen down at the bottom of the track then. Tania Calvo trying to get on terms. She looks very quick on the track today. Tania Calvo turns on the power. Van Riesen doesn't really seem to be on top of that big gear. Tania Calvo wins that one easily, 2-0 to her. She goes through to the final.
Mag ik een applaus voor Tania Calvo en Laurine van Riesen.
Always interesting to watch the coaches and their reaction to what's going on the track. Confirmation then that Tanya Calvo wins 2-0 in the women's sprint to go through to the final. We'll find out shortly who she is going to face. Don't forget, you can tweet me at @McCrossan, A-N-T. McCrossan is where you can get me on Twitter if you'd like to message in with any of your thoughts as we get ready to bring the next riders up onto the track. The current leader is Wai Chu Lee, or Sarah Lee, up there at the top of the track in the red from Hong Kong, China. Bronze medalist in the Keirin at London 2012, 29 years of age now, former world champion at 500 metres. Elena Starakova is the rider that Sarah Lee is up against. And of course, Sarah Lee will be getting ready for the World Championships, the beginning of the new year. She is a rider who very much is high profile in Hong Kong. She's got an incredible story if you ever read and research her a little bit. Very powerful legs as Sarah Lee, very, very fast in the 500-metre time trial. 1-0 up. Extremely concentrated. You see her down the track though, always smiling and laughing in between events. A very popular rider indeed. Elena Starakova of the Ukraine now on the front. She has to win this to bring it to a decider. Going up to the top of the track now. This great facility here in Apeldoorn. There's all sorts of sport going on around this velodrome also. Underneath there's actually indoor running facilities for training and a long jump pit as well. So it's a multi-sports arena with the velodrome very much the centerpiece. So Starakova now has got to outwit the tactical genius of Sarah Lee, as Sarah Lee now goes to the top of the track. Now she dives down, used that banking to great effect to give her a little bit more speed. Starakova doesn't look like she's got any response whatsoever. So Wai Chu Lee goes through to the final, 2-0. Made that look very simple indeed. She'll face Tanya Calvo in the final. Starakova will race against Van Riesen for the bronze medal.
Dat betekent dat de finale zal gaan tussen Spanje en Hongkong om de gouden plak. En om de bronzen plak gaan strijden Starakova van Oekraïne en onze eigen Laurine van Riesen.
Confirmation then that Sarah Lee wins 2-0 against Starakova. And there at the bottom of the screen you can see all the different social media if you would like to join us. Message us in. The men's keirin is coming up next, so don't disappear. We're going to bring you lots more action. The men's keirin, the women's sprint semi-final is over now, so we'll bring you the finals later. The men's Omnium points race will bring you shortly to bring the conclusion to the men's Omnium. We'll show you some men's sprinting from the last couple of days, men's keirin as well, and the men's Madison will also bring you. So lots going to happen here on the track. Here's our start list then for the men's keirin second round. Heat 1, 3 riders go through to the final. And we've got Lafargue of France, Wachter of Germany, Saram of Malaysia, Lendl of Lithuania, Vinokurov of Ukraine, and Oliva of Great Britain.
Mohamed Sharon, representing Lithuania, Vasilius Lendl,
The rules on the keirin now changed, of course, which means the Derny bike leads until 3 laps to go, then it peels off, and it's all about the sprint. Helps the judges out for sure. They're now able to put a camera on the finish line to make sure there's absolute certainty if anyone overtakes the Derny bike fully. These riders then lined up behind the Derny bike. It's the Malaysian rider there in the blue who is leading. That's Sarom, Mohammed Sarom. Sitting right behind the bike. At the very back is Andrei Vinokurov. Been sprinting extremely well in the World Cup so far. Silver in the European Championships in the keirin is Vinokurov. He's the rider sitting right on the back in the yellow and blue. In front of him is the Lithuanian rider Lendl in the yellow and green. Vasilius Lendl. Luis Oliva just leaving a little bit of a gap now. 3 laps to go. So Oliva just using that to good effect. The reason he leaves that gap is so he can use the turbulence in the air to just dive into the slipstream of the rider in front. Slightly, a little bit of bumping and barging going on here as the sprint starts to open up. 2 laps of racing to go. It is the Lithuanian rider on the front. Lendl, who turns up the pressure. The German trying to get on terms is Wachter, who's going to go through. Looks like there's a bit of a move happening on the outside. These riders going shoulder to shoulder. 3 riders will go through to the final. It's going to be a blanket finish. It's the Ukrainian who takes it, Vinokurov. And behind him was Luis Oliva, I think. That was very, very close indeed. We'll take a look at the replay, but suddenly the race totally changed. The Lithuanian rider leading out. Lendl, behind him was Wachter of Germany. Just seemed to tie up a little bit. Then the move came on the outside. Vinokurov starting his sprint late. Oliva went with him. And those 2 certainly are through. And it remains to be seen who will be the 3rd place rider.
Wordt er toch nog even gekeken naar de podium met de plaats.
Great ride by Vinokurov of the Ukraine. He seems to have been warming up for hours in the middle of the track. Clearly on very good form. Right, the result then. Vinokurov of the Ukraine takes the victory. Oliva takes 2nd place. Lendl takes 3rd. And here is the result. Vinokurov takes the victory. Oliva in 2nd place. Lendl in 3rd. So those 3 riders will go through to the final to fight it out later on. Here we are with the 2nd round. And that's the lineup. Thomas Barbek, Juan Peralta of Spain, Joseph Truman, Francesco Cecchi of Italy, Kawabata of Japan, and Jeffrey Hoogland is in this race. Jeffrey Hoogland, 3 times a European champion silver medalist. Sorry, 3 times a European champion in the sprint and the kilometre and the team sprint. He took that in Grenchen in Switzerland. Silver medalist in the World Championship team sprint in 2016. Jeffrey Hoogland, a real favourite of the crowd. We'll see whether he can get through to the final. That gun start is the loudest gun I've heard in the velodrome for quite a while. Do join me on Twitter @AntMcCrossan. is where you can join me if you'd like to tweet in. The riders then lining up behind this bike. It is Truman of Great Britain. Behind him is the Japanese rider, Kawabata. Francesco Cecchi of Italy, wearing number 157, third place. Then Jeffrey Hoogland. If he wins, the crowd will go wild. The Czech Republic rider, Thomas Barbek. And behind him, Juan Peralta of Spain in the yellow and red. 4 laps of racing to go. I know it's only half a lap, that's the difference between the Derny peeling off, but it feels a lot quicker. It's really strange. You're also now allowed to overlap the Derny. You just can't overlap the front wheel as the Derny peels off. And Truman of Great Britain now is the leader. Keirin Racing, so popular in Japan. Great to see Kawabata here, as Francesco Cecchi makes a move on the outside. The Italian sprinter looking around to see where everybody else is. So Cecchi in the blue helmet with the white jersey, the blue shorts. Truman now one of the members of this young team sprint team from Great Britain. He makes a little move on the outside. He's going to try and leave this one out. Barbek trying to overtake. Hoogland is going to go with this one. 3 riders will go through to the final. Juan Peralta knows the British rider doesn't have the legs. Peralta looking good now, as we see Jeffrey Hoogland going through as well. The 3 riders, Barbek, Hoogland and Peralta, look to me like they will be the riders who will go through to the final. Barbek opened up the sprint. Truman was unable to go with it. A great sprint between those riders to decide who will go through to the final to join up with the rest of the riders. So it's Barbek, Hoogland and Peralta, I think, who got through that time. All smiles from Thomas Barbek. Very happy with his performance then. There's confirmation of the result. Barbek ahead of Hoogland and Peralta. The other riders, they don't go through to the final now. Kawabata, Truman and Cecchi, they will ride for the 7th to 12th places. Well, the next up on our schedule is going to be the men's Omnium points race. Everyone getting ready now for the next race. And our men's Omnium is what it's going to be. Here's confirmation then of who will be riding for the Keirin. Qualified for the finals, Barbek, Peralta, Lendl, Hoogland, Vinokurov and Oliva will fight it out to try and take this World Cup victory.
Voor de mannen in het Omnium.
4 rounds of the World Cup this year. Next time we're going to be in Cali in Colombia. Then following up that will be the next round in Los Angeles. All concentration in the middle of the track as we get ready to decide the winner of the Omnium.
16 points. On the second place is Apeldoorn, Spain, 102 points. On the third place is the Simone from Italy, 94 points. On the fourth place, Benjamin Thomas, 88 points. And Maximilian Bell on the fifth place, 82 points. Then we have 3 riders, 76 points, Zakharov, and
It's quite tough, this competition now. As I mentioned earlier, Albert Torres says it's hard on the legs. So close, all the races. But he says it's going to appeal to the road riders, there's no doubt whatsoever.
Deze laatste sprint zijn dus de dubbele punten.
This is the fourth race.
Mannen komen in de baan. Met natuurlijk een prachtige uitgangspositie voor de Polen.
Here's the standings after the first three events. Sanyok of Poland leads with 116 points. Torres in second. Consoni in third. Ben Thomas also there. Remember, we have loads of sprints, loads of points on offer, and double points in the last sprint as well. 100 laps of the track coming up. So when you look through these standings, then you can see that there's still many riders who can win here. Just comes down to who's managed to recover, who's got enough left in the legs to go for the overall victory. So it's all important about recovery in between each of the 4 different races.
100 laps. That means 10 sprints. Every 10 laps we have a sprint.
The sprints will come up thick and fast every 10 laps. Albert Torres there. Sanyok seems to be thriving in this World Cup. Rides for a team called the Attack Team Gusto. It's a continental team. They seem to go at everything. Very young rider, 19 years of age. Consoni making his way onto the track. Sanyok's had a bit of a mixed season as far as road racing is concerned. The best result was a 6th place in the prologue of the Dekula Mazowska, where he raced in Warsaw for that 6th place.
In het tussenklassement betekent dus aan de lijn de Pool boven aan de railing.
Chinese rider, load of strapping on that leg. That's Lu Hao. Just trying to keep that kneecap in line and make sure when under pressure doesn't cause any major injuries. And Simone Consoni, silver medalist in the under-23 World Road Race Championships.
Ja, voor een bepaling aan beneden moet.
The riders choosing to have the disc on the back. I think every one of them has got the carbon-bladed front spokes.
Bent u aangekomen Podium dit jaar bestaat uit 4 onderdelen voor op 1 dag gereden. De snelheidsonderdelen zijn uit de lijn.
We're underway then. The riders rolling around the track. 100 laps to go. And immediate at the front is Simon Sanyok, who decides that he is going to just make sure everybody knows that he is the leader. So keep an eye on exactly what's going on. Just to explain to you then, sprints every 10 laps for 5, 3, 2 and 1 points. Double points on the final lap. And right now, Sanyok leads with 116 points. Torres has 102. Consoni has 94. Thomas of France has 88. Bayer of Germany has 82. And it's all about scoring as many points as you possibly can to go to the top of the leaderboard by the end of this Omnium contest. On the front then, the Russian rider. The rider's just doing their own little bit of pace making, not prepared to do a huge amount of work right now. That was Imamura of Japan who just swung up the track. The Italian rider, Simone Consoni, silver medalist in the Under-23 Road Race Championships of the world. There is Sanyok in the red and white, right in the centre of the picture there. Must admit, I don't know a lot about Simon Sanyok, other than his performances as a junior, where he certainly was one rider we noticed. But obviously very at home here on the boards. 94 laps to go. There's a few riders in here who've got to try and go out early and try to get some more points on the board. Riders who are maybe around about 70 points, if they can score some quick points, put themselves further up the standings. Here comes the first sprint then, and it is the British rider on the front, Chris Latham, who stretches this race out a little bit now. Latham leads as we come round to the first sprint. Is the Chinese rider in second place, so that will close the gap for those riders. 90 laps to go. Latham takes the 5 points, Lu of China takes 3, Imamura of Japan will take the third place, I think. Yep, there we are. Latham 5, Lu 3, Imamura 2, and Torres was the rider who took 1, which is good for him. He will close up on the leader, Sanyok, who has 116 points. Didn't score any points that time. And there's the standing. So Simon Sanyok is the leader, still 116, 13 points now ahead of Albert Torres. Latham has won a stage of the Olympias Tour. Very good road rider becoming. Torres, of course, there in the red and yellow, so well known on the track. A world champion in the Madison in 2014, 3 times the European champion. Rides or has been riding in Great Britain for Team Rally GAC. Says it's so tough riding in Britain because of all the criterium races that you have to do. That you don't get your recovery. You're constantly on the move on the circuit that they have in Great Britain. 85 laps to go. The Ukrainian rider just testing people out here. Roman Gladish. Roman Gladish just hanging off the front a little bit by a few meters. The rest of the field just lining up behind. Peloton led by. The rider's doing a fair amount of work. Latham is one of them. The Canadian rider also doing some good work. Aidan Caves, who's a member of the Team Pursuit squad of Canada. Still, Roman Gladish has a little bit of an advantage. Just wondering whether Gladish will be a bit of a worry for anyone. I don't certainly think so. Gladish right now is 14th overall, 50 points, so he could take a lap and he still wouldn't trouble anyone inside the top 10. Latham turns on the pressure now for Great Britain. Behind him is the race leader, Simon Sanyok, who's looking to put some points on the board here. Latham and Sanyok going shoulder to shoulder around the top turn. Behind them, Gladish is there. You'll just see the wheels of those 2 riders behind, but now the attacks are happening. The tempo is very, very high in this points race. 80 laps to go. A few riders were caught napping there. 5 to Gladish, 3 to Sanyok, 2 to Latham, 1 to Moreno de Pau, who of course is a great 6-day rider. He won the London 6-day recently, rides for Belgium. One of the biggest 6 days of the year is coming up though this week, isn't it, in Ghent. Confirmation then that Sanyok has extended the advantage, 119 to 103 for Torres. Consoni is now in 3rd place, 94. Benjamin Thomas with 88 points. So a few riders just slightly off the front here, trying to go away from the rest of the field, and Sanyok of Poland has realised just how important this breakaway is. So you can see him just at the top of the picture on the left, just out of shot as a group of 7 riders go clear of the peloton, and Sanyok is the rider who's desperately working hard to try and get back to the string. He looks very, very good. Sanyok closes that gap pretty much on his own. Is he giving too much too early in this men's Omnium points race, which brings the scratch race, the tempo, the elimination all to a conclusion? 8 riders were just clear, but now the peloton, led by the Kazakhstan rider Artyom Zakharov, closes the gap. Race all back together, and one rider trying to go clear, and it is Artyom Zakharov, the silver medalist in the Asian Championships, who is going clear of the rest of the field. There's a lovely study of Albert Torres. Constant attacks now in this peloton. Portuguese rider goes clear, Ivo Oliveira. They're just looking for a combination or a gap when everyone decides they've had enough and sits up. 1 lap to go to the next sprint. It's Ivo Oliveira who is the leader for Portugal. Behind him is Simone Consoni. Behind him is the Frenchman, and that French rider is Benjamin Thomas. Coming up then to the sprint, and it is Ivo Oliveira who takes the points that time. Well, the best form of defence is attack if you've got the legs for it, and Simon Sanyok seems to be doing that well right now. Ivo Oliveira took sprint number 3. Simone Consoni took 2nd place for Italy. Benjamin Thomas of France took the 2 points. Another attack going on at the front, and now the Dutch are going to be pleased with the move there of Roy Efting. So Sanyok, as you can see, leads with 119, Torres with 2nd place. Consoni is 3rd, Thomas of France is in 4th place now. To get inside the top 6, you need 81 points on your scoreboard. 66 laps to go if you've just joined us. As now we see a little bit of a move, and it's coming from Albert Torres, coming up to the main bulk of the riders. These riders looking like it's been pretty flat out so far. And it's this young Polish rider who comes across here to the leader. This is the Dutch rider going clear of the front of the race now. Roy Efting, the bronze medalist in the European Championships, stretches things out yet again. Simon Sanyok closes it. The riders sharing the pacemaking now on the front. No rider seems to be able to break away significantly now. Wonder whether that's just real tiredness on the fact they've had to do so many races in one day. Coming up then to the next sprint, 61 laps of racing to go. And it's the Chinese rider then, who is on the front of the peloton. Liu Hao, Kazakhstan rider, right on the wheel that time. Artyom Zakharov. Zakharov not quite scoring the points we would expect of him. Keeping close attention is Simon Sanyok. Meanwhile, sprint number 4, Piao Lu, 5 points, Artyom Zakharov 3, Benjamin Thomas of France 2, Ivo Oliveira takes 1 point in that 4th sprint of this final race in the men's Omnium. Kazakhstan rider going clear then is Artyom Zakharov. Just looking for someone to help him out, and he gets that immediately from the rider from Hong Kong, China, who has gone across. That is Chungwen Lung, 22 years of age. No rider's been able to take a lap so far. You get 20 points if you take a lap. Sanyok just working through in his mind the different combinations of riders who are going clear. Just trying to make sure that he's not in any difficulty with riders who will put him on the back foot. Seems to be keeping a good eye on Torres and Consoni, and also Benjamin Thomas, who's now firmly in 4th place on 92 points. Well, take a look there at the Portuguese rider. He's the rider on the front. Ivo Oliveira, 82 points now. If he could take a lap, he'd be up at the over 100 points. See how hard these riders are finding it. Some riders unable to do a turn when the rider on front flicks up the track, but now we see another big attack. It comes from the French rider, Benjamin Thomas, who was 3rd on a stage, interestingly, of the Tour of Portugal. Bearing in mind it was Ivo Oliveira who had just been on the attack. Benjamin Thomas of France now going clear with the luminous neon orange shoes. 51 laps to go. We're coming up to the midway point. Benjamin Thomas trying to be the first rider to take a lap in this points race. Comes up to take the 5 points. Behind him is the race leader, Simon Sanyok. The Kazakhstan rider just behind him is Artyom Zakharov. 50 laps of racing to go. And Ben Thomas took 5, Sanyok took 3, Zakharov took 2, and Latham took the 1 point. There is Sanyok looking good, still in the lead of this Omnium contest. And there's his lead, 122 to 103. So Torres hasn't really taken any major points so far in this race. Benjamin Thomas closing in 97 now, and Sony on 97. They're only 6 points behind Albert Torres of Spain. Torres, though, is a rider who can take a lap. He is very used to doing that as a rider who's extremely good at the Madison. Well, thank you for joining us. This is the men's Omnium, the points race. This is the Tissot UCI Track Cycling World Cup from Apeldoorn in the Netherlands. This is the midway point of the World Cup season. We have 2 more rounds to come, Cali in Colombia and Los Angeles, before we move to the World Championships. 44 laps to go. Saniok still the leader for Poland. Torres in second place with 103. He's got still a lot of points to score to win this. He would have to take a lap, I think. Thomas of France and Consoni of Italy. Latham, not too far behind on 82, but he's got a lot of work to do. I'm wondering whether Torres is just waiting for Saniok as a younger rider to have done too much work and then he's going to hit him. Because I think Saniok, to me, looks like those shoulders are starting to hunch a little, and maybe those amazing legs that he's had are starting to hurt a little. 41 laps to go. Here comes the sprint lap. It is Torres, followed by the Swiss rider Gino Mada. And Torres, I think, that is his plan. I thought so. Saniok immediately is going to react, but has he got the legs to go with this? Really have to be the rider to shut the gap, but he does. He decides to close in on Torres. 6 sprints gone. Torres took 5, Mada took 3, Consoni 2, Ivo Oliveira took 1. But this rider from Poland is looking supremely strong right now. No doubt whatsoever, he is in charge. I thought Torres was going to go away and take a lap that time. 38 laps to go. The state of the peloton means that everyone is feeling this now. So they've all decided to steady up. That will play into the hands of the young Polish rider. Saniok leads 1:22, Torres on 1:08. 14 points would do it. That's all you need. Well, I did say the best form of defence is to go on the attack, and Saniok has decided that that's what he's going to do. Saniok looking really strong as he goes clear to try and take a lap on the rest of the field. The rest of this peloton, to me, look like they are hurting a lot. Torres goes to the front. He is the rider in second place. It's 122 to Saniok, 108 to Torres, 99 to Consoni, 97 to Thomas of France. What does Torres do here? If this peloton brings Saniok back, then I think Torres will hit him very, very hard indeed with a big attack. He's hoping that someone's able to do it. Saniok with an advantage now. Is he just wrecking his legs to allow Torres to come back and take the overall title? He may well learn something about himself here, about how strong he is. The counter-attacks are coming. It's the Canadian rider who is leading this peloton. That's Aidan Caves. Coming up now to the next sprint. And still, this Polish rider leads. It's Saniok with 122 points anyway. So this would put him on 127 if he gets here. 31 laps of racing to go. So Saniok is going to take the 5. Thomas is going to screech through and will score the 3 points, which will move him over the 100 points barrier in this race. 29 laps to go. We're counting down. That was sprint number 7. Simon Saniok took 5. Thomas took 3. Moreno de Pau took 2, Zakharov took 1. Moreno de Pau, of course, a very good 6-day rider. Ben Thomas, 100 points now. He needs a lot to go to the top of the leaderboard, but now in with a shout of catching Torres. So Simon Sanyok, 127 to Torres' 108. Thomas in third place, Consoni in fourth. To win this Omnium, Torres has to launch something. He has to get rid of Sanyok, but he's running out of time to do it. Four riders are now clear. Big attack, it comes from Torres, and Sanyok immediately reacts, trying to go with the former world champion of the Madison. This is a big hit out now. Sanyok, though, seems to have the legs to go with this one. This is an impressive display from this young rider. Look at Torres, so at home, so relaxed on that bike. Coming round to the 25 laps to go point. Torres tracked immediately by Sanyok. Goes to the top. Now he's going to lead. He's going to try and put Sanyok into some difficulty. Torres, very experienced indeed in this style of racing. He's smiling away at Sanyok. He is enjoying this. Torres is a little bit like that. He's an animated and a good character, but he also will just stop and tell you everything you need to know. He'll have a good old conversation. But I think if he also sees a rider is better, then he'll give them a bit of respect. Number 32 going clear. This is Ivo Oliveira. Oliveira 5th overall, 83 points. Coming up now to the next sprint lap. One rider going clear. Oliveira looking for some points here. And the Portuguese rider scores the maximum 5 points in that sprint. Sprint number 8 then, Ivo Oliveira takes 5 points, Zakharov takes 3, Latham of Great Britain takes 2, Torres sneaks in to take another point, edges him a little bit closer, but still not close enough. Very fast now at the bottom of the track, as Aidan Cave sets the tempo for Canada. 18 laps of racing to go. Double points on the last lap. There's the standings. Simon Sanyok, 127. Torres, 109. Thomas, 100. Consoni, 99. Still the places are to be decided. No doubt whatsoever. There's still enough points to shuffle things around quite a lot. Consoni there in the middle of the picture. You see another rider slightly ahead. It is the Chinese rider who's gone clear, Liu Hao. So Liu Hao doing some damage here on this Apeldoorn track as he tries to extend his advantage over the rest of the field. The counter-attack comes from the German rider, that's Maximilian Bayer, third in the World Championships in the points race in 2015. 15 laps to go though, and they have let the Chinese rider go clear. Liu Hao has an advantage. One rider trying now to go across. I think that's Gino Mada of Switzerland. And now we see the Chinese rider on his own. This Chinese rider wearing number 7, as you can see there, Liu Hao. But what's important is what's going on behind, because look at that. It is the rider from Spain who's choosing now to go. A big attack by Albert Torres of Spain, the former world champion of the Madison, 3 times a European champion in the Omnium and the Madison, and Torres is building a bit of an advantage now. It's going to come down to Simon Sanyok. There's still a lot of points on offer, and Torres is now looking for the maximum points here to put himself a little bit closer. This would put him on 114 points to the 127. Simon Sanyok, has he got enough? Has he got enough speed in those legs? Torres is on his own now. It is Torres against Sanyok. Sanyok, to me, looks to be starting to suffer a little bit. He's putting some massive turns, a little bit of almost showmanship on the track from the young Pole, but Torres now is going for gold. 10 laps of racing to go for the rider who rides for Team Rally GAC. Sanyok's shoulders, to me, are starting to sag. He's looking for a little bit of help. No one is prepared to give him this. 9 laps to go. Albert Torres is absolutely flat out on this track now. If he took the lap, he would go on 1, 3, 4 points. He'd go to the top of the leaderboard, and Torres is not far away. Sanyok's looking worried. It looks to me like this young rider's legs have given out on him. I might be wrong, but he doesn't seem to have the same acceleration. Albert Torres is such a fierce competitor. He's a tremendous track rider. He's one of the best Madison riders in the world. On his day, he is the best Madison rider in the world. He can ride a points race. He knows exactly how to do that. He's got a tremendous style. Look at that, his mouth absolutely wide open. 6 laps to go. Can he get there? So it's Sanyok on the front of the peloton against Torres on the other side of the track. And Torres has to take the lap. The points will not be enough. It's 10 points for the final sprint. He needs it to just even up a little bit. So it is Torres desperately trying to close the gap on Sanyok of Poland. And on the other side of the track, he's almost there. Is he going to have enough time? Is he going to get there? The crowd are urging him on now. Torres gets onto the drops. He's going to give it a little bit more. He's going to run out of track. Sanyok literally has done 4 laps on the front now. Torres also. This is such a great finish to this points race. It is still Torres slowly but surely being reeled in by the peloton. Is Sanyok going to get any more assistance? They're coming around with 3 laps to go. It is not going to be enough for Torres, I don't think. They're all massing. Are they going to catch him now before the finishing line even? This would put him on 1, 2, 4. He'd end up 3 points behind Sanyok. Torres is going to give it a little bit more. Now the big acceleration happens. Sanyok is getting washed away. Torres has tried over the final 10 laps. Latham is now starting to put in the tempo on the other side of the track. Torres still there. Look at the shoulders going everywhere. Is he going to hold on even for the 10 points? He needs this to stay up there in second place. Torres still is there. They're trying to close in on him. Is he going to hold this one off? It's such a big acceleration. Torres has got 2 turns to go to get the 10 points. Torres is going to come round. It's only going to give him second place. A tremendous ride by Torres. Behind him was the Frenchman and the British rider. Torres is still going to end up second. He can't believe it. That was 10 laps of an effort to try and give him the victory. You have to admire that final sprint. Sanyok, to me, was absolutely dead on the track, but somehow he's held on by 3 points, I think, to take the overall victory in this men's Omnium. Sanyok, he will say thank you very much to the crowd. He lifts the bike. I think he was in all sorts of trouble with a few laps to go when he realised that the man of the experience of Torres had put him on the ropes. 10 points to Torres, 6 to Thomas. Latham took 4, Consoni took 2. That was a tremendous finish. You have to admire a rider like Torres. He gave it everything. He loses out by, I think, just 3 points from taking the overall victory. Look at Sanyok. At the beginning of the race, he looked supreme. At the end of the race, he was absolutely hanging. Might have taught him something. Don't take it for granted that your legs feel amazing, because By the end of the race, they can be feeling absolutely terrible. What a fantastic race. Do join us on Twitter @AntMcCrossan if you would like to tweet in, and join me on Twitter for the rest of the afternoon's action.
En dan gaan we beginnen met het vrouwensprinttoernooi. We zijn inmiddels aanbeland aan de finale ronde. We gaan beginnen de eerste...
There's confirmation then of the men's Omnium result. Just 3 points separate the two top riders, but Saniok of Poland takes the victory, and Albert Torres, despite that maximum big effort at the end, still ended up in second place.
En dames en heren,
Scoren voor Jeffrey Hoogland.
Let's take a look back then at the men's sprint. This was yesterday. This is the bronze medal ride-off. In the orange, Jeffrey Hoogland of the Netherlands up against Sebastien Vigier of France. Jeffrey Hoogland, 3 times a European champion in the sprint, the 1 kilometre, and the team sprint, a silver medalist in the World Championship team sprint as well. Looking to take the bronze medal. Vigier then up towards the top of the track. Now moves down onto the black line. Hoogland likes to use the track to the best possible effect. Vigier then a little bit of an acceleration as they go through towards 1 lap to go. Hoogland trying to get into the slipstream. This is the men's sprint, of course. This is Vigier on the front of the blue. Hoogland trying to come past on the outside, doesn't manage to do it. 10.358 for Sebastien Vigier. Vigier goes 1-0 up against Hoogland, racing in front of his home crowd. Well, the gold medal ride-off was between Andrei Vinokurov and Kamil Kuczynski. Vinokurov in the yellow and blue of the Ukraine. Kuczynski, interestingly, he won Glasgow. Kuczynski in the white and red was on great form last weekend. Kuczynski, 31 years of age, in the white and red there. Team Sprint European champion in 2016. As these two riders continue around the track, up above the blue line here. Vinokurov of the Ukraine still leading. This is the best of 3 rides again. Vinokurov, silver medalist in the European Keirin Championships, bronze medalist in the sprint in the Europeans. Vinokurov now leading for the Ukraine. Kuczynski in the red and white of Poland in second place, trying to get back now onto the wheel. These two riders flat out in towards the finish line. Who is going to take this one? And hitting the line now, it is Vinokurov who goes 1-0 up in the contest. 10.343 for the final 200 metres.
En ook hier bedankt voor elkaar voor Andrei Vinokurov.
Sebastien Vigier and Jeffrey Hoogland back up on the track for the bronze medal ride-off. Vigier of France is the leader with 1-0. Hoogland, big, powerful sprinter from the Netherlands. Can Hoogland bring this one back? Vigier on the front, only 19 years of age. Looking around to see Jeffrey Hoogland, the coaches walking in the centre of the track. Sebastian Vigier, this new breed of young French riders that they are trying to bring through for Tokyo 2020. And Hoogland is very experienced indeed now as he goes to the top of the track. Hoogland looking strong as Vigier tries to get back in contact with him. They go shoulder to shoulder now. Vigier leading round the final turn. Hoogland doesn't have the legs. That's a big surprise. So it is Vigier who wins at 2-0 and takes the bronze medal in the men's sprint.
The men's sprint final for gold.
We turn our attention back to the gold medal ride-off. Vinokurov 1-0 up for the Ukraine. Third in Glasgow last time. The coach is just giving that last little bit of instruction before these riders lead off. Kamil Kaczynski then, looking to try and bring this one back to 1-1. So it's all about winning this time. Vinokurov looked really good in Glasgow. Kaczynski looked very strong indeed. He liked the crowd there. He liked to get the crowd on his side. Just walking, keeping their eyes firmly peeled on those two riders on the track. Vinokurov leads 1-0. Makes his way onto the back wheel of Kaczynski now. Vinokurov looking to go high. Just holding the bike alongside the Polish rider, Kaczynski. Vinokurov now starting to accelerate hard, making his way in towards the finish. It's going to be an easy one. He wins at 2-0. Vinokurov takes the victory for the Ukraine. A great sprint between those riders, but Vinokurov this time much stronger than Kamil Kaczynski, and he takes the men's sprint.
Ladies and gentlemen, please now let's all our medalists, dames en heren. Nogmaals een welgemeend applaus voor al onze medaillewinnaars.
Many years I do cycling, so I try to do all time the best. So I get very long time no medals, so I try to do my best, and now you see, I'm back.
Well, he's certainly back. We're going to turn our attention back to the men's keirin now. This is going to be the finals for the 7th to 12th places. There's our lineup. So Quentin Lafargue of France, Joe Truman of Great Britain, Tobias Wachter of Germany, Mohamed Saron of Malaysia, Francesco Cecchi of Italy, and Tomoyuki Kawabata of Japan make up the 6 riders taking part in this keirin.
Representing France, Quentin Lafargue. Representing Great Britain, Joseph Truman. Representing Germany, Tobias Wachter. Representing the team of ESN, Mohamed Saron. Representing Italy, Francesco Cecchi. And representing Japan.
They're getting ready on the track then to fight it out in this keirin. The gun goes and these riders then are underway. It's 8 laps of the track. The riders peel, the Durney peels off with 3 laps of racing to go, leaving the riders on the track. Joe Truman sitting right on the wheel here of the Durney bike. Seemed to, in the last round, just go a little bit early. The Italian rider sitting second wheel then, 26 years of age, Francesco Cecchi. I kind of feel that Cecchi is a rider who will win something big at some point. Sitting right on the wheel of Joe Truman of Great Britain. Behind them then, in the blue, is the Malaysian rider. He's riding for his trade team, so he's not in the normal colours of Malaysia, Mohamed Sarong. And now Joe Truman decides to go early. He seemed to do this last time. And Tobias Wachter is going with this one from Germany as well. So Truman not fully committed yet. Letting Quentin Lafargue, the gold medalist in the European Championship team sprint, into the wheels. Truman now is going to give it a little bit more throttle. Lafargue seems to be just hunting him down. And here we go now. The cavalry is going to charge round the outside. It is going to be Quentin Lafargue who's looking very, very good indeed. Quentin Lafargue takes the 7th place for France. A great sprint by Quentin Lafargue of France to take the 7th place in the men's keirin.
In the keirin tournament, Quentin Lafargue. Septembre place pour Quentin Lafargue, représentation de France. An 8th place for Mohamed Sharam. 9th place for Wachter. 10 Truman, 11 Keki, and 12.
That was our 7th to 12th place ride then, as we look out across this magnificent velodrome here in Apeldoorn at these Tissot UCI Track Cycling World Cup rounds. Quentin Lafargue confirmed then, taking 7th place. Mohamed Sarong takes 8th. Tobias Wachter, Truman, Cecchi, Kawabata make up the top 12. There's our rundown of the riders who will be in the final of this men's keirin. Should be an interesting race, this one, particularly with the likes of Hoogland in here.
We gaan eraan beginnen, de finale van het mannen-keirin-toernooi.
The riders then coming to the track, ready for this race. Vinokurov is the rider at the top of the track. Alongside him to Thomas Barbek, a European champion in the keirin, 29 years of age. Jeffrey Hoogland of the Netherlands, just sitting up, ready for this race. The other riders in here, Lewis Oliva there, riding for the in the colours of USN, which is his trade team, comes from Wales. Further up the track is Juan Peralta of Spain, and the Lithuanian rider, Vasilius Lendl, down at the bottom of the track in the yellow and green. Race underway, 8 laps of the track, 3 laps without the Durney bike in the way.
In Apeldoorn tijdens de Tissot Wereldbeker baanwielrennen. Op passage
6 riders on the track then, lined up behind the Derny bike. Who's going to take this one? It's Vasilius Lendl in the yellow and green, sitting just behind the rear of this Derny bike, which is speeding up all the time. Behind him, Lewis Oliva, the 24-year-old Welsh rider, third in Glasgow. Behind him, Jeffrey Hoogland of the Netherlands. We've already seen Hoogland 3 times, the European champion. Hoogland likes to normally attack and go for a long sprint. Barbek, to me, is the favourite in here right now. He's very, very good indeed in this keirin contest. The Derny bike is peeled off. 2 laps of racing to go. Lendl on the front. Barbek moves through. Lewis Oliva trying to find the gap. The Ukrainian rider moves up on the top of the track and looking good. Vinokurov, is he going to take the contest here? He says he's back as he goes shoulder to shoulder with Thomas Barbek. Oliva now makes a move on the outside. It's Barbek against Vinokurov, against Lewis Oliva. Oliva seems to have the speed. It's going to be Barbek against Oliva, and Barbek took the victory there for the Czech Republic. Oliva took 2nd place, I think, throwing his bike at the line. What a great finish that was. Barbek just looked good. He went shoulder to shoulder with the Ukrainian rider, Vinokurov, but Vinokurov didn't seem to have the speed. He tied up a little bit. Barbek continued. It was Oliva who was making the big move at the top of the track. Barbek looked really strong, but as they threw their bike at the line, it was Barbek against Oliva for the victory. All smiles from Thomas Barbek. And there's the result. Barbek takes the win ahead of Oliva in 2nd place. Vinokurov of the Ukraine held on to take a 3rd. A fantastic performance by the 29-year-old Czech Republic rider, Thomas Barbek. Well, it's thick and fast action, isn't it? Here on our coverage of today's Tissot UCI Track Cycling World Cup from Apeldoorn. We're going to turn our attention back to the women's sprint now. There is Loreen van Riesen, former speed skater, bronze medalist in the Olympic Games. She's there at the top of the track. And Van Riesen is 1-0 up in this contest. She's up against the Ukrainian rider, Elena Starikova.
Zoals we dan sprinten, dames en heren, zijn er vanmorgen om 9 uur al begonnen. En de kwalificaties te zijn met 23 dames.
Nice shot of the bikes there a moment ago, just showing you the disc wheels and the carbon fiber bladed front wheel. Van Riesen then 1-0 against Starikova. This is for the bronze medal. Van Riesen will want to win in front of a home crowd. So Van Riesen this time has the lead off, goes onto the Côte d'Azur, that's the blue area around the bottom of the track. Starikova of the Ukraine drops in behind. Van Riesen is a very good sports person indeed. Been able to switch disciplines like this from speed skating to cycling. She's not the only one who's a speed skater. Floorta Mackay on the road is also a speed skater. She's actually doing a little bit of that now in the off-season. Helps with the muscle tone and the endurance. Do tweet me if you'd like to. @McCrossan is where you can reach me on Twitter. So it's 1-0 to Van Riesen. Can she beat Starakova? They're trying to hold her off a little bit as they now go inside the sprinters line. Van Riesen still hasn't really opened up her sprint yet. Starakova trying to get back onto the wheel of Van Riesen. Van Riesen's looking very, very good indeed. She just puts the power on. Hardly looked like she made an effort, but she rode that final sprint at nearly 60k an hour. 2-0 to Loreen Van Riesen of the Netherlands. She takes the bronze medal in this World Cup in front of her home fans.
En ook aan de overzijde, dames en heren, van die applaus natuurlijk uit volle enthousiasme klinken. En dan gaan we ons terugmaken voor de finale.
The Dutch fans on their feet, congratulating Loreen Van Riesen. 2-0, she takes bronze. Starakova, great ride to get into that final.
Finale van de keirin bij de mannen. Als eerste, als tweede geplaatste Oliva wordt teruggezet met een relegation voor het omhoog duwen van zijn tegenstander. C12, so a relegation for Oliva in the keirin's finals, C12. That means the current standings is Babek winner, second place Vinokurov, third place Peralta.
Well, just hear it in the track that Luis Oliva has been relegated in the men's keirin. So Oliva was relegated for moving a rider off his line, and he drops down to 6th place in the men's keirin. Babek is the rider who wins. Vinokurov moves up into 2nd, and Peralta moves into 3rd place. We turn our attention then back to the women's sprint. This is for the gold medal, and just to tidy things up for you, the leading rider in this contest, 1-0 up is Sarah Lee, Wai-Chu Lee, sitting there in the red colours. Tanya Calvo needs to win this one, or Wai-Chu Lee will be the winner of the women's sprint here in Apeldoorn. Just to confirm then that Luis Oliva has been relegated in the men's kit. Tanya Calvo won her rounds 2-0 to go through to this final. Now they make their way up the track. Wai-Chu Lee looks to be on tremendous form. Tanya Calvo, I say, silver medalist in the European Championships in the sprint and team sprint. Wai-Chu Lee with the greater pedigree with the former world title and also bronze medal in the keirin in the Olympic Games. Calvo then on the front. Wai-Chu Lee goes very, very high, looking to use all the banking that she possibly can to keep the speed as high as possible. She'll want to dismiss Calvo here. She won't want this one go to a nervous 3rd ride. Calvo then accelerating hard. Wai-Chu Lee has tremendous speed. Goes to the front now as they come round here. Wai-Chu Lee is the winner of the women's sprint. Fantastic ride by the rider from Hong Kong, China. Tremendous performance. 2-0. Wai-Chu Lee takes the gold medal here in Apeldoorn in the women's sprint. I think she's finding this competition an emotional competition.
En we gaan ze niet vergeten, ook aan de overzijde. Een applaus voor de silver medalist representing Spain, Tania Calvo Barbero. En ook hier aan de tribune zijn een applaus voor de dame uit Spanje, Tania.
There's the women's sprint classification. Chile takes the victory. Tanya Calvo second, Laureen van Riesen in third place.
Relegation for Oliver, number 225. C12 moving outward with the intention of forcing the opponent to go up. So Oliver is relegated for moving outward with the intention of forcing the opponent to go up. What brings us to the official standings. The men keirin's final. First place, Thomas Babek, Czech. Second place for Vinokurov, Ukraine. And the third place for Peralta, Spain.
Well, there's the classification then in the women's sprint. And there's confirmation then of the relegation of Luis Oliva down to 6th place, which leaves Barbek as the winner. He took it anyway, but the other places shuffle around. Andrei Vinokurov in second and Juan Peralta in third place. Oliva relegated for moving a rider off his line.
We maken ons op voor de koppelkoers, voor de Madison.
So just to very briefly just talk about Sarah Lee before we see the Madison get underway. Her long-term coach, Hugh Lin-jun, passed away very recently. He was only 48 years of age.
50 kilometers per minute, 200 laps.
He had a heart attack just a few weeks ago.
30 kilometers for women, 120.
And I think today Sarah Lee's finding just the memory of her coach who's pushed her at the start of every race and made sure that she's okay. Finding it difficult, and you can totally understand. She's missing him here.
And 1 point to the fourth team. Points awarded in the last sprint after the
So the men's Madison final, we turn our attention to that. And, we all knew her coach well. We've been used to seeing him in the track centre and giving her a push. So we just remember him today.
Final sprint shall decide the winner.
Here's the men's Madison then. This is the start list. Men's Madison, always tough race.
Madison, 30 kilometers final.
30 kilometers on the track. 16 teams will take to the start.
For Great Britain, Mark Stewart and Oliver Wood. Representing France, Adrien Garel and Louis P. Juliet. Namens Belgium.
The riders then on the start line. Remember, let's explain to you, if you've never seen a Madison before, it's ridden in pairs. You have a group of riders who are resting around the top of the track and a group of riders who are racing around the bottom. To swap over, to put your teammate into the action, you hand-sling them into the action. It's non-stop action, everything going on all the time. There are points and sprints along the way. And if you take a lap, you get 20 points.
And Wojciech Sokolarski.
It's extremely demanding, this race.
maak ik gebruik om aan u voor te stellen namens Nederland Min Stroetinga en Roy Pieters.
The team's then getting ready on the track for this Madison contest.
Namens Kazakhstan, Robert Gabriev en Sergei Shakovsky.
12 sprints along the way then, sprints every 10 laps, 30 kilometres, it will go very quickly indeed. So the 16 teams, as you can see, all riding around the bottom of the track then with one rider. And the other riders are riding around the top and getting underway now. The handsling will put them into the action. You have to be very careful indeed. You have to keep everything very focused because there is so much happening within the peloton. You don't want to make a mistake and crash. So some crashes in Glasgow. On the front of the race then is from Poland, Wojciech Poslarski. Just setting the tempo up. The French team in second place there, made up of Audryn Garel and Louis Pigelet. Japanese team in third wheel. Sorry, the Austrian team in third wheel. Stefan Matzner and Stefan Mastola. The Polish team setting the tempo. Coming around towards the first sprint, the British squad are Mark Stewart and Ollie Wood. Tempo pretty high already. Starting to see the handslings happening. Polish team, good handsling there on the front by the Polish squad. It was Stanizewski who just threw Cholarski into the action. It's good to have a fresh pair of legs just before the sprint. You'll see a lot of handslings literally just before the sprint happens. Kazakhstan rider on the front, that is Robert Ganiev. Looks around to see the Belgian pairing, they're tremendous. Robert Gies and Kenny de Ketelaar. Kenny de Ketelaar, world champion in the Madison 2012, twice a bronze medalist in the World Championships in the points race. Kenny de Ketelaar, a great rider in a Madison. Two teams going clear. France and Belgium trying to break clear of the rest of the field. 112 laps to go. And Kenny de Ketelaar throws in Robbie Gates. Polish team come across too. Just keep an eye on the front of the race. That's all you need to do, and top up the points as the Polish team go for the points. And that, of course, is going to put them to the top of the leaderboard. Big handsling there. That little black box under the saddle is the power meter, so the coaches can take the data after the race. Confirmation of sprint number 1. Poland took 5, Belgium took 3, Britain took 2, and Kazakhstan took 1 point. Ollie Wood, who was on the front of the race that time, and the Polish team. Cholarski just setting the tempo. The Kazakhstan rider goes to the front yet again. Kazakhstan made up of Ganiev and Shatovkin. And the leading rider there is Daniel Stanizewski. Madison tactics quite intricate. You've got to talk to your partner, you've got to decide when you're going to swap over, how you're going to get a fresh pair of legs into the race at the appropriate time. You've got to keep a good eye on exactly what's going on. As we see a rider from Russia on the front of the race, and that is Maxim Piskunov. Maxim Piskunov is the leader. Now Italy take control of the front of the peloton. Number 7 there, Simone Consoni. We've already seen him racing today. Consoni, a medalist in the Under-23 World Road Race Championships. He looks around and you can see the Poles getting back involved in the action again. Getting close to the next sprint, just 3 laps to go till that happens. The British team also moving up. 4 teams at the front. And we're going to start to see the sprint open up now. This is for 5 points. Poland are the leaders, and Poland are going for this one. 1 lap to go to the sprint. The bell is sounded. Poland start the acceleration very early. The Italians are coming up to them. It is Daniel Staniszewski, who is the rider who's going for this sprint. Being challenged a little bit by the Italians. The Italians go and take the second sprint of the night. Francesco Lamont was the rider who took the sprint that time. Big acceleration, confirmation on the screen. Sprint number 2, Italy took 5, Poland took 3, Russia 2, Great Britain took 1 point.
With 98 laps to go.
And here are the standings. It's Poland with 8, Italy with 5, France with 3, Great Britain with 2 points so far in this men's Madison. No longer just the mainstay of men's cycling, women's cycling now have Madison as well, which is important that they are given the same opportunity as the men. We saw that Madison in Glasgow. Katie Archibald and Manon Lloyd were the 2 winners for Great Britain. Katie Archibald actually finishing the Madison, riding the last 15k with a broken wrist. Shows how tough some of those women bike riders actually are. Poland there in the red and white, the leaders of this Madison. Swiss team, we haven't seen them so far, just moving into the action. Swiss team, Lloyd Perazzolo, Tristan Margay. Polish team's changes, quite interesting. As the Dutch go to the front to try and shake the crowd up a little bit. Dutch team, Wim Strottinger and Roy Peters. The Irish team are in there. There they are in the green. That's Felix English and Mark Downey. Mark Downey took Ireland's first World Cup gold medal yesterday in the points race. Great performance by him. That will give them sky-high morale. 91 laps to go. Here we go then for the next sprint. It is going to be Switzerland against Ireland for these points. Great Britain also trying to move up a little bit. Ireland hold on. Belgium scores some points that time as well. Looked like Switzerland took the points that time. The rider who raced across the line was Tristan Margay. Pace at the front is pretty hefty. Confirmation of sprint number 3. Switzerland 5, Great Britain 3, Belgium 2, Ireland with 1 point. And it means that the team in the red and white there, the Polish team, still the leaders of this Madison. Here's sprint number 3. The standings mean that Poland are the leaders. Great Britain tied with Switzerland and Italy on 5 points each. 87 laps of racing remain. There's a study of Hollywood. If you would like to tweet me, tweet at Ant McCrossan, A-N-T. Ant McCrossan is where you can tweet me and ask me any questions about the Madison if you would like to. Well, the Polish team's riders seem to be doing very well in this World Cup this time. Rider on the front of their team so far, looking good. Daniel Stanaszewski. Ireland just setting the tempo. Looks like Mark Downey is the rider on the front, looking around for Felix English. To throw Felix English into the action. Felix English, who rides for Ireland and comes from Brighton in England. English, for a long time, was known as the rider who dismissed Chris Hoy from the European Championships in a sprint. When he was a very young rider, he decided his tactic was to just go out, attack Hoy from a very long way out, which Hoy, of course, didn't like to do when he was sprinting. And English beat him and dismissed him from the European Championships. Here we go, heading towards the next sprint. 82 laps of racing to go. And it's Ireland who are involved in the mix yet again with Great Britain. So it is Hollywood and Mark Stewart who are going for the points. Coming up now, here we go. It is Italy, Britain, Ireland who go across the line that time. And Italy want to press on with this one, trying to take a lap. They've decided that they're going to use this as the launch board. Now they swing up again. No one really has got the legs to go here. Sprint number 4, Italy 5 points, Great Britain 3, Ireland with 2, Belarus took 1 point that time. Just going to shuffle the standings around a little bit. Means that Italy now are at the top of the leaderboard, 10 points, Britain have 8, Poland have 8, and Switzerland have 5 points so far in this race. 77 laps to go, and Italy are the leaders. One of the riders is Francesco Lamon, who's 22 years of age. He's taken a silver medal recently in the European Championships in the team pursuit. That's Mark Stewart of Great Britain making a move. In that race, the team was Simone Consoni, Filippo Ganna, Michele Scartazzini, and Liam Bertazzo, along with Francesco Lamon. They swapped riders in and out in that European Championship. 75 laps of racing remain. And the French team now looking to get involved in the action, going on the attack now. And it is Adrien Garel who is attacking. He slings his partner, Luis Pigelet, into the action now. Trying to go clear. The Italians sense the danger, so they're going to try and nullify this. Poland also getting involved. They're sitting third or second equal overall with Great Britain. So it's France and Italy as we head towards the next sprint. The Polish team also up there. So are the Netherlands. They're involved in the action as well. It is Simone Consoni and his teammate Francesco Lamon. Lamon is the rider who takes the points that time. Riding an intelligent race so far, Italy in this Madison. Sprint number 5. Italy take 5, France take 3, Poland 2, Netherlands on 1. 69 laps to go. A big attack on the front now from Wim Strottinger of the Netherlands, trying to go clear to take a lap. He's a good 6-day rider. The standings after 5 sprints now. Italy 15 to Poland's 10 to Great Britain's 8. France now in 4th, but Wim Strottinger is the lone attacker now at the front of this Madison as he slings his partner into the action. Roy Peters now is involved in this chase as they try to go for the 20 points. This would put them firmly at the top of the leaderboard. They've only scored 1 point so far, so this is a big effort by Wim Strottinger and Roy Peters as they try now to take the 20 points. A huge move by these riders. The crowd going pretty wild now. Roy Peters on the other side of the track to the rest of the peloton. Big hand sling there. And you can hear the crowd now getting really animated. Just looking to see how far ahead he is. Well, he's starting to get close to the back of the string. Wim Strottinger, 31 years of age. Trying to get across now. A bronze medalist in the World Championships in the scratch race, a bronze medalist in the European Championships in the same discipline. He's getting close. The peloton seems to be accelerating a little bit. Wim Strottinger looking for the 5 points on offer this time. The peloton reacting a little. Has he got the legs? The new format of this racing means that you don't have such a gap between the sprints, which means the race is so hard. Normally you'd have had a bigger gap between the sprints. Wim Strottinger looks to be hunted down. He's going to continue. He's still off the front. The Italians have sat up again this time. He's only a few meters in front. 5 points to the Netherlands, 3 to Italy, 2 to Poland, 1 to Ukraine. The lone leader is the Netherlands. 58 laps to go. And at the top of the leaderboard still are the Italian squad. 18 points to 12 from Poland, Great Britain with 8. Well, the peloton seem to be in a bit of disarray now. A massive attack at the front. It comes from the Belgian pairing now. These riders are good six-day riders. Kenny de Ketelaere in particular, one of the top six-day riders in the world. It is Robbie Geese there wearing number 3, who is going clear of the front of this race now. Tremendous tempo by this rider. He'll set up Kenny de Ketelaere to sling him into the action to try and be the first team to take a lap on the rest of the field. The Belgian team up 4 points so far, so they haven't really been going for the sprints. They're coming up now to the hand sling. Kenny de Ketelaere thrown into the action in this Madison. 54 laps of racing to go. Tremendous speed now, but the peloton seem to be reacting as well. Kenny de Ketelaere, he's almost in the same straight as the peloton. Can they take the lap this time? They're going to run out of time because the acceleration happens again at the front of the race. 52 laps of racing to go. It looks like Kenny de Ketelaere is going to take the points. Behind him, Great Britain and Ireland are now going on the attack as well. Coming up, it is the Belgian team with 1 lap to go to the sprint. Wearing number 3, it is Robbie Geese. Big counter-attack from Great Britain. Crossing the line this time. I think Belgium are going to take a lap on the rest of the field. The field is designated as the biggest bunch of riders. Just looking to see what the commissaires are saying is the peloton. It may be that they're going to be brought back. The bigger counter-attack, as you can see, down the back straight from Switzerland. The Swiss team making a move now to try and get across to De Ketelaere and Gies. A bit messy, this track so far in this Madison, but I think they're going to get there actually. There are little groups of riders all over the place, but the leading team are Belgium, who are going to try now to lap the remnants of the peloton, but the peloton, the biggest group of riders, is 5 riders. There's 2 groups of 5. Commissaire showing that the leading group, the peloton, is the team of France, Ireland, Italy. And the Belgian team trying now to lap the field. They're getting close to doing this, but they haven't caught the main bulk of the peloton. They're about a quarter of a lap away from doing it. The Swiss team now are on the move. De Ketelaere and Gies, still the leaders on the track, but they haven't lapped the field. Now they're working their way through. Look at the cadence, really, really high, as Gies and De Ketelaere try to get up to the back of the peloton. Still a long way to go, maybe around about a finishing straight's worth. But behind them, Austria, the Swiss team can see the Belgians on the track. It's getting close now. There is no real peloton. They're just 1 rider, followed by 2, followed by 3. And it's Belgium who've done all the damage. Coming up to the sprint lap. The Belgian team are not far away from the front of this race now. Got to admire the big effort here they're putting in. They've been absolutely flat out in this race for the last few laps. They take the sprint. The question is, can they take the lap? The shoulders are sagging a little bit under the effort. Confirmation then that Belgium take 5 points, Switzerland take 3, France take 2, Italy take 1, which will still mean that Italy will be the leaders, but only just. 19 points, 14 to Belgium, 12 to Poland, 11 to Great Britain. That's the standings, but Belgium are trying to turn the race on its head. There are literally little groups of riders all over this velodrome. All we need to know is that Belgium are the leading team. They've caught pretty much every team, but there's no real bulk peloton of there's 2 groups of 3 in front of the team of Belgium now, and that's what they've got to catch. 34 laps of racing to go. The Belgian squad looking ahead of them, they can see where the riders are. It's been a big old chase. 33 laps to go. Kenny De Ketelaere needs a little bit of assistance with his teammate Robbie Gies to catch the rest of the field, bearing in mind how long they've been out there in the front. There's no lull in the main peloton. Still around about a half a lap, I guess. The Italians refusing to give in. Belgium have 14 points, Italy with 19. Another sprint coming up. It's still Belgium who are at the front of this race. They're going to go for the 5 points on offer. And it's going to be the Russian team who are going to take 2nd place. Belgium are going to take another 5. Russia will take 3.
2 points. 2 punten Zwitserland, 1 point voor Frankrijk, France, 1 point.
It's incredible to watch just how hard Belgium are riding here, and still they haven't managed to shut the gap. Czech Republic, Russia, Kazakhstan and Hong Kong have lost a lap. So Belgium that time took the 5, Italy took 3, Switzerland took 2, 1 went to France, which means that I think now Italy will still be the leaders of this race. Despite everything that's going on, Italy will be on 22, Belgium now on 19, Poland on 12, Great Britain now on 11, and Dekatela and Robbie Geese, I wonder if they've got enough left in the legs to get across. I'm not sure, because they seem to have steadied up a little bit. Bit of a conversation went on then when they did their hand sling. This is the main, there is the Belgian team. We just caught a glimpse then of the main bulk of the peloton, with Ireland also in that group, Great Britain, Switzerland, France, Germany, and Belgium are giving this another go to see whether they can get across. 25 laps of racing to go. It's still round about half a lap. Italy losing a little bit of contact with the main group. Still half a lap. Kenny Dekatela gives it another big turn to see whether he can close up at all. It looks to me like the tempo in the main peloton is slowing up, and Italy are the only team who can do anything about it. Belgium closing in on the main group now, towing across the Dutch team as well. 22 laps to go. We're going to come up to another sprint any moment. Such a painful event now, this Madison, with the point system changes. They are nearly there. They are almost in touching distance. But the Italians put in a massive big turn yet again. Coming up to the sprint lap, Belgium take the points. Behind them it is going to be the Italian team, who are going to take second place. But that says to me that these teams are now very close on points. The Belgian team shut the gap a little. "19 laps of racing to go. Belgium take 5, Italy 3, Switzerland 2, Ireland take 1 point, which will mean that these teams are now equal on points, and Belgium and Italy will be equal first place, I think. This is getting close. 17 laps to go. The Belgian team still half a lap up. Here we are then on the screen, 24 points between Belgium and Italy each, 13 points to the third place team, Switzerland, then Poland, then Great Britain, then France. Polish team giving the Belgians a little bit of assistance here. So the Polish team really giving Belgium a massive lift here towards the end of this race. It's 15 laps to go. A big, big move by Poland. They are going to help the Belgians take the lap, which would put them firmly at the top of the leaderboard. Huge handslings going there by both the Polish and the Belgian team. The main bulk of the peloton numbers about 8 riders. Poland and Belgian squad really desperately trying to stay in the wheels here. They are almost on. Are they going to take the lap? They have been on the attack for the majority of this race now, and they can finally see the back of the group. The Polish team, as they wanted to come back to the peloton, helping them out there. Poland in 4th place, so Belgium have to go with this. Coming up to the next sprint. Are the legs of this Belgian team going to have anything left to get back there and lap the field? 1 lap to go to the sprint. Belgium are still the leaders. They're going to move ahead of Italy this time. And then we're into the final run-in, the last 10 laps. There's the Irish team taking some points with Switzerland and Great Britain. They'll move up a little bit into around about 7th place, I think, the Ireland team. It's getting extremely close. 10 laps to go. Counting down. 8 laps to go this time. Belgium took 5 in sprint number 11. Remember, the final sprint's double points. Ireland took 3, Switzerland took 2, Great Britain took 1. Which means Ireland will move into the top 7 places now. What a chase this has been. Belgium now lead this Madison. We know that there's daylight between them and Italy in terms of points. Italy are making a bit of a chase, but Belgium now lead with 29, Italy with 24, then it's Switzerland and Great Britain. And the Italians trying to incentivize everybody, trying to make a little bit more attacking happen. Belgium are going to give this one more big go to see if they can take the lap. They're so close to doing so. I know I keep saying that, but they are. They're literally only a few meters behind now as they put in another big turn with Robbie Geese setting the tempo. Only 4 laps to go. I don't think they're going to do it. They're going to run out of time. Double points on the last lap, which will firmly put Belgium at the top of the standings. 3 laps to go. There is the Belgian team. Kenny de Ketelaere using his 6-day prowess so well. Having said they won't take the lap, they might well do it now. The Italian team are going to be in 2nd place in this Madison, but the win without doubt. I think it's going to go to Belgium here. Coming up with 2 laps to go. Kenny de Ketelaere and Robbie Geese. 1 lap to go now for the Belgian squad. They will take the double points on the last lap. Behind them, it's all about the other places. So it's going to come round with Belgium in the group. They win the Madison. The Belgian team take it. A fantastic performance by them. Great Britain take the double points for 2nd place. That's going to move them right up on the standings. Yes, the Belgians take the victory in that Madison. What an incredible final race. Belgium take the 10 points for the final sprint. Britain take 2nd place. We'll see how that changes things. But without doubt, Kenny de Ketelaere, Robbie Geese are the winners of the Madison. Great handslings. They were flat out for almost, well over half the race, if not 3/4 of it. Fantastic racing, absolutely on the limit.
Because we have several ceremony protocols. Dus we hebben nog diverse huldigingen te doen. Dus dames en heren, blijft u vooral nog even zitten. Want we lopen maar een dikke uur voor op het schema.
Wonderful performance by de Ketelaere and Geese to win for Belgium. There's the sprint number 12. 10 points go to Belgium, 6 to Great Britain, 4 to Italy, 2 to France. And of course that then changed the face of the top places. As we look out across the track, And the point situation at the end of this men's Madison means that Belgium take the victory. Things will shuffle around just a little bit. I think Italy should hold on to their second place. They certainly put in some big turns towards the end. Well, let's take a look back at some highlights of some other racing. This is the men's team pursuit. The men's team pursuit. And this is the ride-off for the gold medal. And it was Canada against Belgium in the men's team pursuit final. The Belgian team, Moreno de Pauw, Kenny de Ketel, Robbie Geese and Gerben Thiessen. We're looking back, of course, they're not just riding straight after that, that Madison. And they get underway. Canada then, Aidan Caves, Adam Jameson, Jay Lamuro and Bailey Simpson. In Glasgow, it was Great Britain who won against France. Canada finished third in Glasgow in a time of 4 minutes 1.958, and Belgium were fifth in Glasgow. They've changed one rider in this team for this round. And Canada and Belgium both looking strong. The Belgian team faster in the opening 500, ahead of the Canadian squad. Moreno de Pauw in here rides for Top Sport Flandre, silver medalist in the World Championship Omnium as a junior. And with Kenny de Keteler, they won the London 6 day. Robbie Geese, we've just seen win, of course, the Madison here in Apeldoorn. Gerben Thiessen is the final member of the team. Through the 1,750 metres, Belgium looking very, very strong against the Canadian squad. Canada looking to try and fight back here in this men's team pursuit. And at this point in the race, the Canadians point 867 down. Belgium looking good, both teams looking good. One rider at the back of Belgium looking a little bit ragged, trying to stay in the wheels. And Canada starting to ride the Belgian team down. You can see the gap starting to open in the wheels of the Belgian team, under tremendous pressure here to try and take the victory. And the Belgian team down to 3 riders, under a little bit of pressure. And Canada firmly starting to ride them down. Only 0.385 at the 3,000 metres point. We know Canada can produce a very good final phase of a team pursuit. Belgium trying to peg them back now. Canada going ahead by 0.425, still with 4 riders intact. A little bit more strength in depth here. Good endurance riders, the Canadians. They lose a rider now as they head towards 3,500 metres. Canadian team upping the tempo against the Belgian squad. The Belgians are now under big pressure, racing towards the finishing line. And the Canadian team looking favourites here to take this team pursuit gold, which would be their first team pursuit gold in a World Cup. Canada then racing to the finishing line, hitting the line to beat the Belgian squad. Canada win. And a very delighted fan indeed. Canada take the victory. Aidan Caves, Adam Jameson, Jay Lamuro and Bailey Simpson. Confirmation then that they took the men's team pursuit. Belgian squad took second, France took third, and there they are on the podium. All smiles.
Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge all our medalists. Dames en heren, uw verdiende applaus voor al onze medaillewinnaars.
There's our podium in the men's team
It's the first time
pursuit.
we've won the World Cup like ever. So and last one was our first podium. So this is huge for us, and we've working so hard on this.
Die zojuist nog naar het bronzen medaille snelde op de keirin.
This is the women's time trial with 2 riders left to ride. Wai Chu Lee, former world champion, getting underway in this time trial. Looking powerful, getting ready for the World Championship. She so dearly wants to take another world title. Racing around, looking a little bit like she's not hugging the black line, 19.510, but in the ballpark to beat Tanya Calvo's time. The bronze medalist in London 2012 in the keirin, starting to up the tempo just a little bit more. And Wai Chu Lee finishes 34.094 and goes top of the leaderboard, 52.795 kilometers an hour. Well, this is a young rider who's starting to make a little bit of a name for herself. This is Pauline Grabosch of Germany, 18 years of age. Silver medalist in the European Championship 500-meter time trial. First time we've seen the 500-meter time trial in the World Cup this season. And Pauline Grabosch coming round to open up the 250 meters with a time of 4.419 ahead of Wai Chu Lee, looking extremely quick. A junior rider, 18 years of age, Pauline Grabosch, hitting the line to go top of the leaderboard and take the victory, 33.974, and a new junior world record for Pauline Grabosch of Germany.
Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge all our medalists. Dames en heren, uw applaus klinkt voor al onze medaillewinnaressen.
It's junior world records and my first gold medal in the elite class. So yeah, I'm very happy, and I can't tell something about my feelings. It's so impressive, yeah.
Watch out for that young rider. She's going to be heading towards Tokyo 2020. We turn our attention then to the women's team sprint. And this is the ride-off for the bronze medal between China and Russia. Russia with Antonova and Kiseleva against Han and Lu of China.
Tissot UCI Track Cycling World Cup Men's Omnium.
These riders then about to get underway in the women's team sprint. Pure power and concentration off the start. And the Chinese team of Han and Lu up against here Antonova and Kiseleva. The Russians very good at the team sprint, but then so are the Chinese. See them in the bronze medal ride-off. Of course, both nations bringing through the young riders to get ready for the next phase of the Olympic cycle. It is Antonova and Kiseleva who are looking good, but the Chinese come back, and it is Han and Lu who take the bronze medal for China in the women's team sprint. Take the bronze medal, 33.989. Han and Lu looking good. As we turn our attention to the gold medal ride-off. Gold medal ride-off between Spain and the Netherlands. Spain doing well in the team sprint, first in Glasgow, time of 33.351. Calvo and Casas. Up against the Dutch team of Kira Lamerick and Shanna Braspanning. About to get underway. Big powerful effort there out of the start. It's Tanya Calvo and Helena Casas. Calvo, twice a silver medalist in European Championships in the sprint and the team sprint. Casas, a silver medalist in the team sprint with Tanya Calvo. Flat out as they go through. Oh, it's neck and neck. 0.119 down for the Netherlands. The home crowd cheering them on, but Calvo and Casas looking very strong against Lamrink and Braspanix. Who's going to take this one? And it is Spain who win again. 33-4-4-2. Back-to-back victories in the World Cup team sprint for Calvo and Casas of Spain.
Gouden medaille dus voor Spanje. En Nederland, u mag ervoor applaudisseren, pakt zilver.
Tanya Calvo and Helena Casas, they took the gold in Glasgow, they take the gold in Apeldoorn.
Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge all medalists. Dames en heren, die applaus klinkt voor al onze medaillewinnaressen.
Yeah, we are having a good season. We start good with the silver at the Europeans, and then last week at Glasgow we got the first medal, and then yeah we have started very good, and then we want to keep this going.
Daarna gaan Groot-Brittannië en Frankrijk strijden om de gouden medaille.
We turn our attention then to the men's team sprint. This is the ride-offs, the bronze medal between Germany and Spain, the gold between Great Britain and France. This is the team of Germany, Engler, Forsterman, Wachter. Forsterman, the man with the thighs. Getting ready for the race start. The team of Spain, Martinez, Peralta and Moreno. Getting ready for the race start. Counting down then. Germany against Spain. The German team then, Forstmann, Engler and Wachter, very, very experienced in the team sprint. Looks like they haven't gone off the start that quick though. The Spanish team, although 10.760 is a good start, up against the Spanish team and look a little bit messy there. Two riders left on the track, so who will take the victory in this bronze medal ride-off between Germany and Spain? Germany faster by 0.648 of a second. One rider of each team left on the track. And hitting the line, Germany 37.383 as they make their way round now to complete that. And Germany looking very good indeed. Germany in a time of 44.571, average speed of over 60.5 kilometers an hour. We turn our attention then to the gold medal ride-off. This is between Great Britain and France. Young squads. France with Adeline, Lafargue and Vigier. Britain with Carlin, Owens and Truman. Britain were the winners in Glasgow. 43.479 is what they clocked there. France in Glasgow, 44.414. A little bit messy from the British team, hitting the Côte d'Azur there. They're going to have to get on top of this here. The lead rider, I think Carlin, just looked like he almost came to grief there through the opening split. And France, the back rider holding back a little bit here. Great Britain looking very, very quick indeed. You can see that France are very messy. There's no major slipstream effect going on. 0.141 down. Now it's down to the last two riders on the track. A great tussle between these two squads over the last couple of weeks. Lafargue against Truman as they hit the line. Britain win again, 43.860. 61.5 kilometers an hour for the Great Britain team. France in second place, 59.877 seconds. That wasn't the best performance by France that we've seen. They just looked a little bit in disarray. And it's back-to-back wins for Great Britain.
Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge all our medalists. Dames en heren, uw applaus voor al onze medaillewinnaars.
We came here with a bit more confidence after last week, and we just gave it our all, and it came out well again, I suppose. Yeah, it's good.
We do everything together, off the track and on, get on so well, and it flows straight from off the track to on. Everything's just like how you want it to be. You approach it the same way each time, and like you've got confidence in each other every time we get on the line, and it's just we enjoy it, and that's the main thing, really, isn't it?
That is the main thing. Enjoying it is what it's all about. As we turn our attention then to the final highlights we're going to bring you. This is the men's scratch race. Big field of riders lining themselves up, ready for this race. Men's scratch race, nice and easy. The first rider across the line wins, but of course, there's always the possibility of some riders taking laps. 53 laps to go. And some riders now taking a little bit of an attack here at the front, and it is the Polish rider who's right at the front of the race here. It is Cholarski who's trying here to break away. He's joining up with the rider from Belarus, Karyalok, and also in there is Sam Harrison. So these riders going clear. Cholarski, Harrison and Karyalok trying to take a lap on the field. Harrison pulling faces in the blue and white of Team USA. Well, they've taken a lap now, and now we're down to 37 laps to go as they take the lap. So those three riders at the top of proceedings then, Cholarski, Harrison and Karyalok. One lap up on the rest of the field. It's taken them a long time to actually take that lap, but they finally got there. Confirmation then, Cholarski, Harrison, Karyalok. They took the lap on the rest of the field. Poland, Wales and Belarus are the current race leaders. 31 laps to go. And another 5 riders by this point are taking a lap. Moreno de Pau, Chris Layden, Ramanau, English and Piskunov. They took a lap on the rest of the field, meaning that we now have 8 riders on the same lap. 25 laps to go. Another lap game. And the rider taking the lap for Belgium, Moreno de Pau. So 9 riders now on the same lap. And now we get confirmation that Chung Wing Lung also takes a lap on the rest of the field. 4 laps to go. And 3 more riders desperately trying to get across to put themselves in with a chance of winning this race. As they race across there then, it is Gladish who leads the trio to catch the rest of the field. Only 3 laps of racing to go, so it's all those 12 riders then who have got the chance of winning this race. Big fight is about to go on as riders try to move through to the front. 2 laps to go. Gladys Ramanau, Matsner have taken a lap. Who's going to take this one then? Flat out as these riders go for the victory. And it's Roman Ramanau. Look at him going for the Minsk Cycling Club. He's the leading rider. He crosses the line. Roman Ramanau of Minsk Cycling Club from Belarus, the 22-year-old bronze medalist in the European Championship points race, takes the victory. He had taken the victory by taking 2 laps on the field, ahead of everyone else. Latham in second place. Moreno de Pau took the bronze. Ramanau on the top step of the podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
Roman Ramanau of the Minsk Cycling Club wins the scratch race. There's our podium. Ramanau of Belarus, Latham of Britain, Moreno de Pau of Belgium. Confirmation then of the Madison result. It was Belgium who took 40 points, Italy 28, and Britain with 19. They're the medalists.
The winner of the bronze medal representing Spain. De winnaar van de bronzen medaille namens Spanje, Juan Gaston Peralta.
As we look out across the track, we're going to take the final podium ceremony of today as we see the keirin presentation. Juan Peralta of Spain takes the bronze medal.
Ukraine, de winnaar van de zilveren medaille namens Oekraïne, Andriy Vinokurov.
The Ukrainian rider, Andriy Vinokurov, takes the silver medal.
Tissot UCI Track Cycling World Cup Men's Keirin, the gold medalist representing the Czech Republic. De Tissot UCI Wereldbeker maandenwinnen mannen keirin, de gouden medaillewinnaar namens de Tsjechische Republiek, Thomas Barbek.
Thomas Barbek wins the men's keirin. He takes the gold medal for the Czech Republic. Thomas Barbek takes the keirin gold medal here in Apeldoorn. He's turning his medal round to make sure it's the right way. There's our podium of the men's keirin.
Voor de national anthem of the Czech Republic. Dames en heren, graag uw welgemeende aandacht en indien mogelijk te gaan staan uit respect voor het volkslied van de Tsjechische Republiek. Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge all.
A very happy Thomas Barbek on the top step of the podium after taking the World Cup win here in the keirin. Vinokurov and Peralta alongside him. Well, some great racing we've had over the last few days. We brought you the live coverage of today and all the highlights of everything that's happened. Great Britain have topped the medal table again here in Apeldoorn with 5 medals in total, 2 gold, 2 silver and a bronze. Ukraine, though, riding well. Some people a little bit tired after 3 days. Some of the photographers, big yawns. They've got some hard work to do yet. So Ukraine have ended up with 2 golds and a silver. They're in second place. Spain with a gold, 2 silvers and 2 bronzes. It's interesting to see some of the young riders who are coming through now as we start to see the next Olympic cycle. We're seeing riders who will be on the top step of the podium when we get to Tokyo 2020. Barbek just reflecting with Jan van Eyden on exactly what happened in that keirin. Of course, we saw the relegation of the British rider. But Barbek is a rider who has been looking good. He'll be heading towards the World Championships. Remember, we've got 2 more rounds of the World Cup to go. We have Cali in Colombia. And we have got, of course, Los Angeles before we move to Hong Kong for the World Championships. Don't forget that if you want to see some racing and you happen to be in any of those places, then come along. It's great entertainment. There's our medal standings then after 14 events. Great Britain at the top of the leaderboard again. They were the leaders in Glasgow. There's Ukraine and Spain. Hong Kong, China in 5th place, tied with the host nation here, the Netherlands. And Canada down there in 10th place with that magnificent win of their Team Pursuiters, a very young squad indeed. Counting through the rest of the standings, Ireland very proud indeed to take their first Track Cycling World Cup gold medal, with Downey taking a great victory. Minsk Cycling Club also taking a gold medal there. We just saw with Ramanel and all the different nations who have scored some of the medals. There's Kazakhstan and China tied down there in 16th place. Across the track then, here are the 2 guys who won the Madison. Very happy indeed with their victory. Well, thank you very much to all of you for joining us here for the Tissot UCI Track Cycling World Cup.
Ladies
it's goodbye from me.
The medal ceremony for the Tissot UCI Track Cycling World Cup.